began their Bay Area brotherhood as teammates. One a versatile player and longtime fan favorite. The other a hard-charging fullback nicknamed A-Train. Tonight, they once again share the field, but on opposite sidelines. It's a matchup of former Bucs and first-time head coaches. Dave Moore and Shorecrest Prep taking on Mike Alstott and Northside Christian. Next on the Bright House Sports Network, Game of the Week. It is opening night of the 2012 high school football season at Northside Christian High School. The Mustangs hosting the Chargers out of Shorecrest Prep. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Alongside former Bucs quarterback Jeff Carlson, I'm Drew Felios. Jeff, this is the 8th season of high school football. We've been together. 2012 should be a great one.
It's going to be great, and we're going to start off with a nice matchup on the sidelines, and we're hoping it's going to be fabulous on between the lines as well.
These coaches tonight are two household names in Buccaneer Nation. For Shorecrest, there's Dave Moore, former Bucs tight end, and for Northside Christian, it's legendary running back Mike Alstott.
A lot of former Buccaneers are coaching in the Bay Area, but no more accomplished than these two guys, and these guys are friends and former roommates. It's going to be fun.
Dave Moore thinks he has the best player on the field tonight for Shorecrest Prep. What does number 32, Garrett Schulte, bring to the house?
First of all, he brings size. This guy's really big. I just walked past him. He's a huge running back. So at this level, he might just run over people. We'll see if he can bring those legs up and under and get down to the field.
As for Northside Christian, they don't really have a superstar. They're going to rely on a lot of underclassmen and a lot of guys going both ways. In fact, they've got 9 of them total. Jeff, only 3 seniors on this roster right now.
Yeah, Mike Allstott's got a huge hill to climb with that roster, and 9 guys going back both ways in August. Very, very difficult. We'll see if they can withstand it for 3 hours.
Are you ready for the season to begin? We definitely are. It's Northside Christian hosting Shorecrest Prep. Coming up next on Bright House Sports Network.
Bright House Sports Network is your home for high school sports. BHSN is keeping it local by bringing you over 100 regular season high school games, broadcast in high definition. Online, on demand, with more in-depth high school sports coverage than any other Florida network. Watch rival high school teams battle it out all season long on the Subway Restaurant's Game of the Week. From the sidelines to the locker room, BHSN brings you all the coverage. Swimming, football, and every sport in between.
Our players love Bright House Sports Network. They get the exposure, they get to watch themselves on TV.
With one-of-a-kind interviews and stories from all over the sports world. Log on to BHSN.com, where you'll get even more access to the stories and teams surrounding Tampa and Central Florida. Scores, schedules, highlights, rankings. Bright House Sports Network, your home for high school sports. Channel 47 and HD 1147, exclusively on Bright House Networks.
Welcome to the Bright House Sports Network studios. I'm Rock Riley. Be sure to join me here for the high school halftime show. We're going to give you the latest on the recruiting front. We'll take a look at the top players from around the Bay Area. I will also preview tomorrow night's game. It's a big one, Plant and Jesuit, and select our halftime hero. It's all coming up on the high school halftime show. Now let's send it back out to Northside Christian for the opening kickoff. Are you ready? Here's Drew Felios and Jeff Carlson. Guys, take it away.
So we are ready for the season to begin at Brandis Russell Field in St. Pete. Shorecrest Prep and Northside Christian, first game as high school head coaches for Dave Moore and Mike Alstott. Let's introduce now the third member of our crew. Brooke Bennett, welcome back to the Game of the Week.
Thanks so much, Drew. I know that we've all been looking forward to this. What a great way to start off the season. And the storylines are great here between Mike Alstott and Dave Moore. And what a common thread they have. Their sons, both in the 8th grade, only 5 weeks apart. Mike Allstott's son, Griffin, and he says he's turning into a pretty good little quarterback. I think we may see him out here on the field next season. And Dave Moore's son, Jake, is quite built for that middle linebacker position. So getting to spend more times with their kids out here on the football field, and we're ready for a great night of football.
We definitely are. Both coaches learning on the job what it is like to be a high school football coach. It was so fun getting to meet with them earlier in the week. And all the little things, Jeff, they took for granted when they were players, like doing laundry and player itineraries and fielding emails from parents and everything else. They are doing it themselves and loving every minute of it as Chase Johnson gets set to kick it off.
You know, no doubt about that. And the smaller the school, the more details and the more things you got to handle all by yourself. And even right now, just getting the headsets together to work. So lots of details, and they're going to handle it just fine.
So it'll be Johnson to put it in the air. As Tyee Johnson from the 15-yard line has a seam. And Johnson across the 40 to the 42-yard line. Nice field position for this Shorecrest Prep offense. Tyee Johnson, a basketball player also at Shorecrest Prep, and he's a good one, only a freshman in high school. Look at Dave Moore. Send on his quarterback, Sam Grant, only a sophomore. Jeff, this young man happy to lead the Chargers onto the field tonight. He missed almost all of 2011 with a torn ACL, so he makes his return tonight under center. In motion to start, Aaron Johnson, and they'll give it to the big guy, Garrett Schulte, but he's hit at the line of scrimmage, and that's going to be a no-gainer as the Northside defense was right there to meet him at the point of attack. Let's take a look at this Shorecrest Prep offense. Chargers, Garrett Schulte, Aaron Johnson brings the speed. Delgado, Tyler Knapp did not play last year, getting his academics in order, and Jake Kohler's the captain. There's the big line. Keep an eye on Alex Goforth, a team player. He wanted to play fullback or tight end, but Jeff, they stuck him on the offensive line, and he is sucking it up for the team. As Schulte again, hit once more. John Williams got there first, big number 3, and once again, no gain on the play. Also, Austin Root in on the tackle. Let's take a look at the Northside defense. These kids are athletic as well. Israel, Roper, Kevin Ryan, and Nate Diaz make up the front 4. The linebacking crew, John Williams, Austin Root, a valuable player. This Northside Christian attack, Jeff Boyasian also. Anderson, Johnson, Davis, and Lewis in the secondary for Northside Christian. They'll toss it downfield, and it's caught at the 43-yard line. And a nice catch made. That will be a first down for Shorecrest Prep. Jake Kohler making the catch.
What a great way for Sam Grant to get started for the season. Does the play action. Normally you say 3rd and 10. Hey, you're not going to get anything out of the play action. But the tight end turns out, and the ball's right on the money to keep the drive alive. Definitely the way you want to start your football season is not to go 3 and out, but to get down there, keep the ball in your hands, and that is exactly what Dave Moore got out of his first series.
So a nice gainer. A first down now from the 43. Schulte once more, and this is what Garrett Schulte does best. Picks up 12 yards down to the 31 and picks up another first down.
Yeah, and that's the nightmare that is Schulte coming at you. You don't want to be a linebacker stepping up in the hole with this guy. He's 6'4", he's thick through the legs, and he can just come through and beat people up. So we'll see how he finishes. As this, both teams are going to be stressed for their players going both ways. He's one of them for Dave Moore. On the other side, Northside, they got a lot of guys going to go both ways. We'll see if he just pounds it, what happens in the second half.
Garrett Schulte, actually a singer and a dancer, Jeff. He had the lead role in The Sound of Music during the spring. They are happy to have him back. Play action again, and they'll unload it, and this is dropped. Austin Settle was in the flat, but just off his fingertips, and second down coming up.
A couple things that were unique this week. First of all, here that a lot of players, not a lot, but a few players, they missed their junior year at Shorecrest because the academic load is so strong that they actually don't play football. They're there to get ready for college, right? So they actually take that seriously. So they missed their junior year, and that's just amazing to me because that's when you build up for your senior year, right? But then when I heard that the star running back missed practice to be the lead in The Sound of Music, that's another new one to me. But what well-rounded football players and people, both sides of these teams are.
Over the middle, and it's caught. Another big play. Down to the 13-yard line once again. Jake Kohler, the tight end, and you can imagine how Coach Dave Moore likes to use the tight end. You've noticed that.
You think? Yeah, well, if Grant can get it to him and they can get him open like that, that's very, very nice. And so far, spreading the ball around very well. Northside did a good job on those first 2 plays of really stuffing Schulte, and now they've come back with the play action. And once you can do that, it opens up the middle of that line, and all of a sudden you see these bigger holes, and then bouncing right over the top of the linebackers to the tight end.
2 catches, 29 yards for that young man right there, Jake Kohler, a senior. Providing the leadership for this Chargers team. 1st and 10. We'll sling it out. Tyler Knapp makes the catch. He's tackled at the 8-yard line by John Williams.
That's one of their good players right there. Tyler Knapp, he can do a lot of things. Can really take that type of a play, that little bubble screen, quick screen to the outside, and go the distance. And he had a big play last week. We'll see if he gets another chance for some longer yardage, but a nice pickup on 1st down.
Shorecrest Prep took down All Saints Academy last week. They beat them good, 43-9, an impressive preseason game for the Chargers. They got a good-looking drive here to start this game. 2nd down and 5. In motion, Travis Dugan. And they'll hand it off. Up the middle, it's Aaron Johnson. He picks up a couple inside the 5-yard line.
Aaron Johnson's probably not going to get to touch the ball as much as he'd like, but he is going to be a regular and does a nice job on the misdirection, picking up some yardage, picking up a 1st down inside the goal to go now, inside the 5.
Aaron Johnson didn't play much last year. A little bit out of gas last week in that preseason game against All Saints. A lot of these guys tonight, as we said in the open, going both ways, so stamina will definitely be an issue. And Jeff, it is hot down there for sure. 1st down and 10. Garrett Schulte is the running back, and they'll give it to him. Schulte powers it in for the touchdown.
Just tough to stop a guy with his girth going through the line. I mean, Mike Alstott's probably over there on his own sideline saying, that looks a little bit like me coming through, and who's going to want to get in the way? So Schulte finishing off a very, very impressive first drive of the season for Dave Moore's Shorecrest Chargers. See that? There's just no help. The outside guy there, you saw number 6, Boyajian, coming up and trying to stop him, but just no chance. Pure physics. No, we're going to keep us high-minded, right? Physics right there, 1 out.
Garrett Schulte gets Shorecrest Prep on the board. So the score 7-0. The 2 coaches, Dave Moore and Mike Alstott, had lots to say this week about facing off as coaches.
It's going to be a little awkward. You know, he was always a guy that I was roommates with, and you know, we'd sit together on a sideline between series and try to figure out who was doing what on defense, and it'll be a little strange, but I think we're both going to have a lot of fun with it. You know, every time I get him, I'll give him a chuckle, and I'm sure he'll get me if he does. So, but it'll be good. It'll be fun, and I mean, to come and play in an atmosphere like this for these schools is something special that they're always going to have an opportunity to remember. But I'm looking forward to it. It'll be good. We're both competitive, so you know darn well we're both trying to win.
It's interesting, it really is, that how us both came about getting a job, first of all, and then having our first game heading up against each other. You know, and when it's all said and done, you know, you really won't think about the other guy on the sideline. It'll be more about getting your own players organized and getting them to execute and compete and coaching up on the run. But you know what? It's gonna be fun. You know what I mean? You know, they got a good team, and hopefully we can do some good things in there.
Cool. That sounds good.
The opening drive, 9 plays, 58 yards. As Schulte finishes it off, 4-yard touchdown run. You know, one other thing about these guys, you look at them, both Moore and Alstott, they're in shape just like you, Jeff Carlson. They look like they can go out there and play right now.
Well, Dave really slimmed down from his playing days, but, you know, it is interesting. And I asked them both about how they came about their offenses that they're going to run as they're calling the plays. And they have such a similar history that they just took something from everybody and then made it their own. And that's the best way to do it.
The kickoff in the end zone. Tristan Lewis. Christian will start from the 20. Ben Knox will get it going for the Mustangs.
Another challenge is starting a freshman at quarterback. Very tough. Ben Knox is up for the job, but just anytime, you know, a ninth grader is going to be the starting varsity quarterback, it's a tough slog, but he's going to give it a good shot here.
First down from the 20. Knox, the freshman, will pitch it, and problems. Ball on the ground, and Shorecrest Prep may have fallen on it. And they have. It's Chargers football. On the recovery, Austin settled. Disaster on the first play from scrimmage for the Mustangs.
You know, you do something a million times, it's a perfect toss, not a problem, but Aiden Anderson just not able to handle it. His eyes are up, looking for the hole first, and going back to exactly what Dave Moore and Mike Alstott have been preaching for a long period of time now, and that is fundamentals. But everybody's got to get those butterflies out of their stomach, and on that first play, just put it on the ground. Now Mike Allstott's defense is going to have to stiffen up and get themselves back in this game.
So a golden opportunity for Shorecrest Prep. Aaron Johnson in motion. Schulte on the carry. Garrett Schulte with a nice hole. And he takes it down to the 12-yard line. Picks up 5 more.
Another guy that he looks like running Schulte is Craig James, because he wore number 32 back in the old Pony Express days. As we're playing the Mustangs, the Pony Express days of Eric Dickerson and Craig James. Craig James is just big like that, 6'4" running back, and just tough to bring down. I thought he was going to try to take that thing around the outside to show us his wheels, but he went with the tough running.
Second down. They'll give it to Chad Swindell. And he's taken down. Another good tackle. John Williams, the junior, playing linebacker here tonight, came up to make the stop.
Real nice penetration by Williams to come up in there. And I think he got just a minor gain there. Williams moving to the line of scrimmage and behind the line of scrimmage very, very well.
John Williams, a transfer from Gibbs High School. We have a lot of those tonight. Kids coming back to their private schools.
Yeah, they're glad for that transfer.
So the Northside crowd comes alive. Williams and company trying to get a stop here on third down. It's Grant, back to throw, into the end zone, and incomplete. Jake Kohler could not climb the ladder to go get it.
Yeah, it would have had to be right on the button. It was just a little bit high. He had the space. He looked at it, nice play action. You see, if he could have just stuck it in there a little bit lower, it would have been a touchdown. Just a tiny miss.
So we've reached the midway point of this first quarter. Shorecrest and Northside. 7-0 is the score, and we'll take a water break. We're back after this on the Subway Restaurants Game of the Week. Tonight's Game of the Week brought to you by Subway Restaurants. During September, you win at Subway with a $5 foot-long favorite. 18 different footlongs, just $5 each. Subway, play hard, eat fresh. Drew Felios, Jeff Carlson, and Brooke Bennett. At Northside Christian, Shorecrest Prep now threatening to go on top 10-0. This will be a field goal try, and the kick is up and perfect. Nicely done as Killian Wright puts it through, and it's a 10-0 football game.
And that's a win for Northside right there, to be able to overcome the fumble on the first play and only give up the field goal. They were almost in field goal position, 6-7 yards back, so they were in field goal position when they took it, and a good stop there inside the 20-yard line. And now Mike Allstott's going to get his team regrouped and get that offense started, and probably not put the ball up in the air, even though it's just a toss. Again, you've done it a million times, but hand it off, don't risk that drop, and get moving your offense forward. And they've got to hold on to the ball, control the clock so that they control the game and control the pace, because they're guys that have been going, 9 guys that are going both ways. They have got to control the pace themselves.
This is a nice rivalry that these two teams have developed over the years. Shorecrest winning last year 17-0. Northside, previous 2 years, Shorecrest in 08 and Northside in 06 and 07, so it's gone back and forth. Very balanced between these two clubs, but both of these teams kind of on the same track. Only 3 years, 3 wins between them. Last year, Jeff, Shorecrest is looking to improve that record. They were 2-8. Northside was 1-9. Lots of work to be done.
Well, they hired the right guys on both sides. They know a lot of success. They're going to instill it into these guys.
From the 26. Turn across the 30 to the 34-yard line. Patrick McGarry making the play for the Mustangs. Northside Christian with the all-black jerseys here tonight. Shorecrest in the yellow jerseys. Both of these teams, Jeff, taking advantage of this opportunity to be on television. Both of these coaches telling their teams this game is not just about the other coach and me. It is about you guys, and we are rarely going to have an opportunity like this. We got to take advantage of it. It's down at 10. Well, nice play. That one going to be thrown for a 2-yard loss. A good stick by Robert Zolper. This Northside offense. Ken Knox at quarterback, Aiden Anderson, Jeff Boyajian, Chase Johnson, so reliable. Saxton Davis has come a long way, and Alec Israel is the tight end. Keep an eye on Austin Root up front. He's a Steinbrenner transfer. And Kevin Ryan, described by Mike Alstott as a getter-dunner.
Drew, on that last play, Jake Kohler, the big tight end that had the big play and the one that went over his head, he's the guy that dove in there and made that nice 3-yard loss in the backfield. So he's got a TOL or a TFL on his record for the second play of the game.
And down in 12, Knox, that's not going to get anywhere. He's wrestled down. Garrett Schulte was there to make the stop. Shorecrest defensively. Robert Zolper up front. They call him Bobby from New Jersey. To make it simple, Schulte, Settle, Kohler, and Delgado right there with him. Evan Johns is the hard hitter. Chad Swindell just moved from Oklahoma. And Lelatier is in the middle. And then Dowling, Dugan, and Tye Johnson. Tye, the basketball player, all-around athlete in the secondary.
Bobby from New Jersey, who you just mentioned, Zolper, guy that doesn't have any bad habits because he didn't play football up there. Lacrosse guy, and now they're just teaching him from the ground up. So looking for big things as he develops in a hurry.
A tough situation here, 3rd and 16. Knox just has to unload it. And that one didn't have a chance. John Williams was out there, but again, pressure. Robert Zolper applying it.
Well, not a lot of good plays from 3rd and 16 for any offense, but again, that's where I went back to that. That's a penalty, I think. Most leagues, that's a penalty when you put your hands in the quarterback's face mask. They didn't get the call, so it's going to be 4th and long on a punting situation. But play action, when it's that far away, usually doesn't get too much respect, and no time at all back there in the pocket.
Northside ends on the punting team. 4th and 16. Nice kick. Up to midfield, Chad Swindell on the return. Oh, this is an outstanding matchup tonight and tomorrow. Back-to-back game of the weeks. We're at Jesuit High School, Corral Stadium, as the Tigers take on the Plant Panthers. We know, Jeff, you can't wait for this.
Familiar foes, we like that. They all know each other, and we're very familiar with them, so it's going to be fun. And then, hey, Vinny Testaverde will be out there tomorrow night. His son, a junior backup quarterback.
Went pretty well.
We'll take a look tomorrow night, first game.
A timeout on the field. Northside Christian wants to talk this over. Let's take a look at the roster breakdown now for each team. Size them up. You see Shorecrest Prep, a lot more experience with their senior leadership. Also 10 freshmen coming up through the ranks. Northside, not as lucky. This is going to be more of a team, Jeff, that's going to play with a chance at the postseason. Looks like next season, probably more so than this season. But don't tell Mike Alstott by any means that this is a rebuilding year.
No, and that's what he told the parents and everybody else. We're here to win, and you know, they can expect to win this year, but you're right, it's probably going to be next year as they learn a lot. But another guy, you know, we're talking about a lot of NFL guys and NFL experience. Keith Lyle is Mike Alstott's defensive coordinator, and he's been played a lot in a long time as well, and he is on that defense that stood up right there in the red zone. We'll see more and more of him as this game goes along as well.
First down and 10. Sam Grant out of the shotgun. Right at midfield where the Mustang lies. Garrett Schulte has been tough to stop. Picks up 13 more as he gets it inside the 40-yard line. Brooke, it seems like this Shorecrest team knows when to turn it on.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what Coach Moore said to me before this game started. He says in practice, gosh, they're still a little rocky and they scare the death out of us. But when they come out onto the field in their past games and last week in their preseason, they just know when to turn it on, and they're definitely game day players out here. And Drew, we've seen it so far.
And they've controlled this game since the opening kickoff. Still in the first quarter. Dave Moore's philosophy on offense, impose your will. Chargers doing a good job of that. Schulte moves in motion, and now they sling it out. Nice catch made. Boy, they bring the athletes at you. Up to the 27-yard line. Ty Johnson on the catch and nice run. Garrett Schulte, Jeff, a nice game so far for the Chargers.
Yeah, no doubt, and he's the lead blocker on this play. On that last play, was very good design by Dave Moore. I'm sure that's the wrinkle he was looking for. They bring that big running back out in the left flat, keep the head blocks, and they just throw a little swing pass and get out to the open spaces and pick up a first down.
First down. Schulte's got that eye of the tiger tonight. They'll take it again. It says, feed me, feed me. All the way down to the 16. Took a host of tacklers. Chase Johnson was the guy trying to drag him down.
Take a look again. Look, 6'4", 200+ pounds. And he gets his shoulders down. Dave Moore probably showed him a lot of Mike Alstott film of number 40's chest wasn't showing a lot. It was the top of the shoulder pads as he's running through guys, and a nice 9-yard pickup right there.
And Jeff Boyajian was on his back for about 8 of those yards. Second down. And short. Now a hard count. And they'll give it to Chad Swindell. Swindell with the speed all the way down to the 5-yard line. Chad Swindell, you saw him, Jeff, as he got inside the 10, putting his hands around that football. He had some fumbling problems last week, not the case here tonight.
Well, good thing he did, because he gets a pop right here at the very end. It's a nice little pop and holds on to the ball very well.
Games like this, when everybody's sweaty, it's easy for wet footballs.
Heck yeah, I watched the game last Friday night where guys weren't wearing gloves and it was slipping all over the place.
Swindell scores. Touchdown, Shorecrest Prep.
Just like he drew it up, just like they had envisioned it going into the season. And for Mike Alstott and his football team, not quite that way yet, but it's still early in this game. This is just downhill running. Like you said, impose your will, play fundamental football. That's what Tony Dungy taught both of these guys, these head coaches, is play fundamental football and you'll do quite fine, and they are so far.
Here's the extra point, and the kick is up, and that's no good. So the score will stay 16-0. But Shorecrest Prep rotating a lot of guys in and out. Swindell, the running back, and he knew what to do with it.
Well, the blocking up front was just really nice. Down block, kick out, come through. They had it all going on, and just a nice little hole for him, and he finished it off for the touchdown.
Another picture-perfect drive, 5 plays, 50 yards. Took 2:18 off the clock, and a 5-yard run by Swindell. to finish the deal. Mike Alstott's team down 16-0 here early, and this has been a long first quarter. At this point, Jeff, what are you telling your football team? Because all the cameras are on, the lights are on. This is the first game, and right now Shorecrest is taking it to you a bit.
Just saying, hey, remember how we practice. Remember the details. Do the things you're supposed to do. Don't worry about anything. Just take care of your job, and everything's going to be fine. We'll get back to moving the ball and doing all the things that we've practiced, okay? So, I mean, that's all you can say when you're down 16-0 this fast. You just got to go in and go back to the basics.
Nice crowd here tonight. Shorecrest defense also doing their part. And only 4 plays on the field defensively. They've got 2 tackles for loss and 1 fumble recovery. So Northside Christian kind of waiting for a reason to really get going. Their fans just waiting to stand and cheer. It was a festive atmosphere here tonight entering the stadium. A lot of excitement here on opening night. It's across the 30 to the 33-yard line. When you take a look at coaches of the past and former Buccaneers that have tried to coach the high school level, all these guys will tell you it is easier said than done. Donnie Abraham is now the head coach at Clearwater. Head coach in waiting, that is. He'll take over next year for Tom Bostic. Ricky Reynolds coached at Blake. Mike Simmons now in the college ranks. Once was the head man at Jefferson. And Richard Batman Wood is back on the sidelines coaching the defense at Tampa Catholic.
Ricky Reynolds is up at Gaither, working with their defense. They're on our top 10 or top 20 pool.
This Shorecrest defense, they've come to play. Austin Settle leading the way that time. This is going to lose more yardage.
Yeah, they have not had a positive offensive play yet. Now they've only had, I think, 5 offensive plays total, but they've had 5 negative plays. They have got to start getting these guys to spread out a little bit and find some kind of a hole to get through and get some positive yardage. They do not want to be in 3rd and long again.
2nd down and 12. Knox hands it off and nothing doing. Oh, once again, Jake Kohler penetrating. Shorecrest Prep stifling on defense.
Absolutely impossible to run for positive yardage when Kohler is not being blocked. He just came straight in, and you just can't do anything about that. Other than block him, I guess. But the running back can't do anything.
Well, the clock winding down, and I don't think we're going to get another playoff. This will be the end of the first quarter. So when we come back, Northside Christian will still have the football, but they trail 16-0 on the Subway Restaurants Game of the Week. So we begin the second quarter on Bright House Sports Network, and tonight's game statistics brought to you by Baycare Sports Medicine, where doctors and trainers can help you become the athlete you want to be. Learn more at strongerfasterbetter.org. Rushing yards in favor of Shorecrest Prep, passing yards as well. So far, it's been all Chargers here after one session.
You know, when Tony Dungy came to the Buccaneers, you know what happened their first 5 games, right? 0-5. Mike's got to get this team to stay out of 3rd and 17s. They've been in 2 of them on their last 2 drives.
Knox out of the shotgun. Let's see if the freshman can do something. Tries to dump it off. John Williams, the intended target, but it was tipped nicely. Alex Delgado got his hand in there, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, well, he read this thing beautifully. Tried to throw back, fake to the right, come back to the left, and that's what, you know, you go screen on 3rd and 17, of course. That's a good call, but Delgado was all over that, almost intercepted that. It probably would have had a good chance to take it to the house.
Brian Grace back to punt it for Northside. It's a nice kick away. At the 48, it's Swindell already with a touchdown, trying to spin free. Wrestled down, John Williams Got a hold of him, and then the help came in thanks to Fiante Bell. Let's take a look now at our top 20 poll compiled by Catherine Smith at Bright House Sports Network and the rest of our crew. Manatee, the #1 team in the land. Armwood at #2. Plant, Lakeland, Eastlake in the top 5. And from there, Jeff, that's when the arguing starts in our office. Palmetto, Jesuit, Winter Haven, Largo, and Hillsborough also in the top 10.
You're right. Very difficult to separate a lot of those teams. So you throw it up there and let them bang it out through the course of the season. We'll see who ends up on top. But we're going to see Plant. We're going to see Armwood very early this season. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
So on first down, the handoff to Aaron Johnson. He picks up a couple. Tackle made by Nate Diaz, providing the leadership on that Northside Christian defense. Keith Lyle, Jeff, you mentioned him before, the defensive coordinator for Northside Christian. 4 times a Pro Bowl alternate with the Rams when they were in Los Angeles and then St. Louis.
John, go inside. Wide now, John. Wide now.
A 2nd down and 5, his defense. Ready to make a play. Delayed handoff, and it's Aaron Johnson. Nicely designed play. He's dragging tacklers. Finally brought down by Patrick McGarry, but another outstanding developed play.
Yeah, they're just working. They're just doing a good job sticking with the fundamentals like we talked about, and so far so good. It is continuing to move the football.
There's Keith Lyle, once a star at the University of Virginia, and 9 years in the NFL. Asked him, do you want to be a head high school football coach one day? He said, absolutely. I'm loving this right now.
He was a 3rd-round pick by the Rams. I was a 4th-round pick by the Rams.
Garrett Schulte, met right there by Kyle Schlatter. And he's still able to pick up 4.
I want to see him get that ball on a toss outside and let him stretch out those long legs and hoof it around there. He's getting all the tough yards. Give him a chance to showcase himself outside too.
Jeff, he has got a 4.5 GPA, one of the brightest football players in Pinellas County altogether. He's got MIT looking at him right now.
Yeah, I bet they're falling in love too.
2nd down, play fake, Grant, nicely done. Austin Settle in the flat, and he's all the way to the 5-yard line.
It's perfect football when you have guys like Schulte coming downhill, running so hard, and then you just get to fake it to him and then throw out in the flat because, I mean, you're darned if you do and darned if you don't. You got to come up and play that run. Well, then when the guy runs past you, the fullback that's been blocking, then he just goes out in the flat and you just dump it over the top to him, and it's textbook football.
Chase Johnson made the stop that time, but Shorecrest knocking on the door again. First and goal for Grant. He's 5 of 6 passing so far. Schulte, feed me again. Touchdown Shorecrest.
And it's only the 2nd quarter, Drew, but you start talking about, you know, a war of attrition and guys just being on the field too much. And that's what Mike Alstott's going to have to deal with all season long. But this downhill, very physical game wears guys down after a while. And then they got to turn around and be physical on offense, and it's a tough deal.
Oh, here's the extra point, and another miss. So Dave Moore not going to like that on the sideline. Garrett Schulte, it's been his show to start this season, making his case to be our player of the game. You know, Jeff, when both of these coaches took over these programs, got a lot of attention, celebration parties, pep rallies by the school, everybody all excited. But whenever the doors closed and it was time to meet as a team, it was all business after that. And a lot of these guys, Mike Alstott said, found out the hard way that this was not going to be a picnic. They were going to go hard, and it was a newfound commitment they were going to show at Northside Christian.
Well, Mike Alstott, and you hear a lot of these stories about pro athletes, about their work ethics, you know, guys that used to go down with Chris Carter or Larry Fitzgerald, or go back to Walter Payton and these guys, and Jerry Rice. Well, Mike Alstott's one of those guys. Dave Moore, the work, you don't really understand what hard work is until you deal with one of these guys. And, you know, a lot of times coaches will tell their players, I'm never going to ask you to do something that I didn't ask of myself. Well, you got guys here that played at the very, very highest level, expected the most out of themselves. So they know what hard work is, and they know how far they can push their players and what to expect of them. And so you come to play for these two teams, you're going to work your butt off.
Alstott told his players right off the bat, if you're not here to work, excuse yourself right now. This is not about me. It's time to buckle down. We are teaching life values. That goes for everything. No leaving water bottles around. If you don't do it in your living room, don't do it right here. Clean up after yourself.
Yeah,
be on time.
Those things are really important. And you know, you go around, you go behind the bench, and it's just tape and water bottles and everything else, but not around here.
Trouble on this kickoff. Back at the 10-yard line. Deontay Bell wrestled down. Let's send it down to the sidelines. Our Brooke Bennett has got something for us. What's up, Brooke?
Well, Drew, and Jeff was just talking about what these coaches have been through. Well, Alstott took some of that camp skill that he got in the NFL. He took these guys to Brooksville, the entire team. Trust me, he said conditions were not great. They're 12 to a room, 6 bunks, and it was kind of like that Remember the Titans. We've all seen that movie, and Alstott laughed on Tuesday. He said conditions were much worse, but it really taught these guys to be there for each other on and off the field at all times, and that's what it's going to come down to right now at this game. They're going to have to dig deep.
A timeout on the field for Northside Christian. 9:15 left to go in the second quarter, and it's been all Shorecrest Prep. Thank you so much for joining us on the Subway Restaurants Game of the Week. What a season we have for you, and what a way to start it. Mike Alstott looking every bit in command on the sideline, as it's going to take some patience with this young Northside Christian team. No doubt about it. Well, he told the parents, he said, guys, we're going to have some frustration. We're going to have some growing pains. Bear with me. Let's be in this together, and we're going to slowly turn around this program.
That's what Tony Dungy had to tell their guys when they weren't winning right away. And you got to win, you know. So that's what they're looking for. But I'm really interested and keen on watching both guys. What Dave Moore did when the kicker missed his second extra point, and then watching him talk with him and coach him and treat him like a father to his son. And right now, Mike Alstott, just the way he's talking to his quarterback, settling him down. You're dealing with a freshman quarterback in the first place, but just all of these guys, they're teachers. They've come here to teach, and in the long run, it will be successful.
A tough night so far for Ben Knox. If number 4 can make a play, first down and 10. They'll pitch it, and it's John Williams trying to make something happen. Not much there. They're running to the football. In yellow, Kevin Jacob got there first, big number 79.
Yeah, again, they haven't got past the line of scrimmage yet. It's just a frustrating time, but right now, the guys in yellow, they're bigger, they're stronger, and they are moving to the ball fast.
Northside Christian fell last week to Seffner Christian. 27-7 was the score. Seffner had 2 defensive touchdowns. Second down. Williams, oh, look at the hit. Stays on his feet, though, and trying to run away from Schulte. John Williams along the sideline, and that's the biggest play of the game for Northside Christian.
All individual effort right there by Williams, because he got nothing up front, no help at all. Bounced off the tackle. It looked like he went back into the end zone here. Let's see how far back he actually does. Yeah, he crosses the end zone line and then turns on the gas. Gets out there and gets their first down of the 2012 season. Long time coming. Now he's going to get a blow.
15 yards on the pickup. That's the first down of the game for Northside.
See the total yards, 1 right there. He picked up 12, but they had been going backwards so many times that they finally got a positive yard.
Knox, play action. Oh, under pressure. And you can't do much when you got players in your face like that. As Bobby from New Jersey, Robert Zolper, in on the rush again.
Yeah, this is so fast. Look at that. He came from the front side. I thought that was somebody coming from behind and chasing him down, but he actually came from his face. So really, that's Aiden Anderson's job to make that block. He has to block Zolper coming off the edge there. He's the guy on the fake, the running back on the fake's got to block that front side rusher.
Zolper, a soccer and lacrosse player. Jeff, he had never played high school football, never football at all until he showed up at Shorecrest. And Dave Moore just taught him from scratch. And you're right, had no bad habits because he had never played before.
Yeah, but he's got the athleticism, so they're using him in, hand on the ground, stand up, to let him do a lot of different things.
All on the ground, and the Chargers have it once again. Zolper jumps on it as it's on the ground, and once again the Chargers will have it.
Well, speak of the devil, and he is the devil right now, too. Did it get, yeah, Zolper did bounce around. You're right. Got all the way back there, a few yards into the backfield. I thought it was Kohler on it first of all. But they are bedeviled right here. Northside home team. Shorecrest Chargers are just putting it on them.
You watch this Shorecrest team, and it's hard to believe they were 2-8 last season because they have come out a confident bunch here tonight. Aaron Johnson in motion. Grant over the middle and incomplete. Looking for his tight end again, Jake Kohler.
And Drew, you cannot compare last year for either one of these teams now, right? You have new coaches, new philosophies, both sides of the ball. I talked with Mike and Dave about how they developed their new offense because, they both have been influenced by the same guys. Mike Shula, John Gruden. There was Les Steckel was stuck in there. I think Dave Moore mentioned Les Steckel's name. He was there for a short period of time. But then they add their own wrinkles, their own thoughts over the years. So this is a new offense.
Schulte wrestled down. The cavalry was right there. Brent Roper, first time we've called his name. Big number 51. Would have none of that.
Well, that was a stampede of Mustangs. Oh, you like that one, didn't you, Drew? Coming in there and getting a negative play against Shorecrest. That has been few and far between so far.
Well, 51's always the guy that gets double teamed. Somehow he springs free. Schulte had no chance.
Okay, it's a senior, Roper. Nice job inside.
Third down now and long for the Chargers. An impressive opening for Sam Grant, the quarterback. Brings it out, another good completion. Ty Johnson knocked out of bounds hard as Tristan Lewis came up to make the hit. Let's see, this is going to be close.
First down.
The first down yardage, and I think he got it.
And this is the same play they used in the first quarter, where they take Schulte out there as the lead blocker, just dump out the screen. It's just a quick way to get the ball outside, like a long pitch play, and plenty of room outside to pick up the first down.
So a water break here under 7 minutes, actually just a timeout, as Northside Christian will take a quick breather. Dave Moore and this Shorecrest Chargers team, impressive in this first half. Ty Johnson also can play quarterback. But Dave Moore, interesting to have his schedule, Jeff. He runs his own insurance company. He is a full-time high school football coach, of course, and he's also part of the Buccaneer Radio Network. How in the heck do you juggle all of those jobs? It's amazing. But last week, as the Bucs were playing the Patriots, he had to fulfill his Buccaneer radio duties while his team was playing that first preseason game. He was texting while he was in the booth with Gene Deckerhoff the entire time.
Very nice. Multitasking, that's what this world is all about these days, right? But luckily, the Buccaneers won't be playing on Friday nights anymore, and he does a wonderful job on the radio network with Gene Deckerhoff. Does a really great job. Just super knowledgeable, and that's what you want to have when you're hearing a game being called, especially on the radio when you don't have the visual piece.
3 touchdowns for Shorecrest tonight once they've gotten inside the red zone out of 4 tries. And a first down and goal now from the 8. Tough night for the Mustangs faithful. Handoff is to Johnson. Aaron Johnson trying to get the outside. What a hit. Aiden Anderson came up and delivered a shot from the secondary. The play still picked up 4.
Big time hit in the red zone. Did get positive yardage, but just a little bit as he takes a big wallop right there in the chest. Good job holding on to that football. We were talking about offensive philosophies. I grew up in the 80s, and these guys aren't that much younger than me. And I grew up on the Washington Redskins, Joe Gibbs philosophy of being able to run the same play out of multiple formations. And that's what we saw in that long third down play. They didn't run it out of the same formation. It was the same play. It was just done out of slightly different formation, so it gives the defense a different look. So sounds like these guys, or looks like these guys are doing similar things.
2nd and goal. Grant will throw it and dropped. His tight end tonight has had a feast. That time Jake Kohler couldn't squeeze it.
Well, Grant did a great job because they have run that same play and thrown the ball into the flat 2 or 3 times. This time he sees a little bit of pressure from behind the outside fullback and then turns inside, throws it to a secondary receiver, which is very mature, but they just don't pull it off.
22-0 is your score on the Subway Restaurants Game of the Week. Drew Felios, Jeff Carlson, Brooke Bennett. Shorecrest Prep knocking on the door again. From the 3-yard line, it's Aaron Johnson, dragged down short of the goal line. John Williams has been the MVP for the Mustangs here in this first half.
Yeah, he got real close to the goal line with that good extra effort. Just short. So what do? You've missed 2 extra points. You're in a situation where you got the lead. Why not go for it? That's what it looks like they're going to do on 4th and 1. Go ahead and punch it in. It's a good practice area. You got this kind of a lead. First game of the season. Put some practice situations in there.
4th down. Aaron Johnson, the running back. Instead, they give it to the up back. And I think he's in. Austin Settle scores the touchdown for Shorecrest Prep.
Sneaking into that fullback inside, and he's done a good job so far tonight. Got a couple of opportunities and done some good yardage inside.
Austin Settle used to be an offensive lineman, but he lost some weight in the offseason. Jeff, when he showed up during the summer, he said, I am now a fullback. They've taken advantage of his talents. This play going to be blown dead.
He looks like an undersized fullback, so I imagine it was a pretty undersized offensive line.
Illegal substitution, 12 men on the field on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Replay try.
Wally DeVries is our referee tonight. Mike Riley, the umpire. The linesman's John Taylor. The line judge, Tony Cooper. And the back judge, Jamie Green. This kick is up, and it's good. 29-0. The Chargers continue to pile on the points. Austin Settle, the touchdown, and right now Dave Moore's team having no mercy on Mike Alstott's.
Well, what Mike Alstott's team's got to do is either use some kind of misdirection to offset for how big Shorecrest is and how well they're doing up front. But you've got to be able to do the basics, which they've been drilling, right? Since the spring, they've been drilling it. But when you're in play action and you don't block the guy that's on the edge, he's the main guy you have to block, then you're not going to be successful. So they've got to settle in on those types of plays. Everybody's got to take care of their own job. Once that happens, then you'll start seeing positive things moving forward.
That drive, 7 plays, 21 yards. Less than 3 minutes, 2:57 off the clock. This game, one of many tonight in Pinellas County. Hillsborough County games postponed one night, so it'll be busy on Saturday night. Right now, Bogosiega leads Countryside. That's a surprise. How about Largo over Southeast? Admiral Farragut and Victory Christian.
Last year, Admiral Farragut was just such a hard-running football team all the way to the state championship game. They lost that game, but all the way up to that point, they ran the ball with some big backs.
They were something, weren't they? Problems on the return team. Tristan Lewis will fall on it at the 2-yard line. Even the easy things difficult right now for Northside Christian.
Yes, very tough. You just want to get the ball out to the 20 so you can do something with it, and all of a sudden the ball's back at the 2-yard line, and now you're backed up and you limit your playbook right there.
Coach Alstott saying, hey, need a little bit better effort next time.
Well, see, then he runs back there and tries to pick it up, but then somebody's right there to hit him while he does it and fumbles, and you say, but coach, well, hard to win in that situation. Got to play it better on the way up to the ball.
Tough situation for Ben Knox. On the hard count. Oh, what a play. And this could be a safety. It is a safety. Ryan Letelier shooting the gap and making the play. It'll be 2 more points for the Chargers.
Yeah, this is just unfair for the running backs at Northside. They're not getting any help up front, but as we talked about, I think 4 out of the 5 guys up front are going both ways and are exhausted already in the second quarter, but the pulling guard just doesn't get there. And so you have got to go back to the basics of just blocking man on. If you can't pull and get there, and guys like Letelier is going to get in there and make that big hit, then you've got to change your blocking schemes up front. If you just can't do it, you've got to assess what your guys are capable of doing, and if they're not capable of it, you got to switch it up. How did you say that last name there?
Letelier.
Letelier. I just messed that up.
Well, both of these programs, neither has a college verbal commitment on either side. So both of these teams still with players trying to attract college attention. And a lot of guys on both sides play other sports. But Jeff, there's obviously still kids still learning the game, and that's why Coach Alstott is here.
Exactly, and that's on both sides. It's about education, 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 and then football, and then sports and athletics in general. But there's a couple guys out there that have the opportunity. There he is in the middle of your screen. There's one of them. I think MIT, that level is exactly his level. The Ivy League is a perfect place not only for his brains, but for his body as well. I think that would be a perfect place for him to excel.
Tell you what, he has got a great voice. He has got some pipes. Garrett Schulte, whenever we were out shooting our promo for this football game, he was laying into that voice track.
Hey, normally when we say, hey, that guy's got great pipes like Mike Alstott, we're not usually talking about his throat.
Here's the kick. Takes a bounce at the 40-yard line. And Tyee Johnson across midfield to the 45. Wrestled down by Stephen Sullivan right there. Stephen Sullivan, another new athlete on this team. He came from Seminole High School. As the transfers start to file into Northside Christian. Anytime you have a high-profile coach, a lot of kids are going to come from different spots and want to suit up in the black and blue.
Absolutely. Another young guy, 10th grader. Mike Alstott's got a young football team. Only 3 seniors on the group, and as we talked about, the 9 guys going both ways. And both of those, whether, before you even line up, those are big-time red flags and negatives on your football team. So they got a lot of work to do out here.
Nice catch, but a nice tackle made. Fiante Bell comes up to make the stick. What's also great about Mike Alstott and Dave Moore, both of these coaches are not originally from here. Mike Alstott grew up going to Joliet Catholic High School. Grew up in Illinois. Dave Moore from Morristown, New Jersey. Both deciding to stay here after their playing days and now contributing to the community. 2nd down and 9. Grant fires. Incomplete.
And interesting too, Drew, that we're in Pinellas County. Not a lot of Buccaneers go across the bay to Pinellas County, and they did throughout their careers. They were over here from the very beginning, and I think that's because they both like the ocean. They like being out in the Gulf and fishing and doing all that kind of stuff.
It was interesting, Dave Moore saying that when he went to Buffalo and had his daughter enrolled in schools up there, and then they came back here to Tampa, they realized that Shorecrest Prep, what a great school it was, on par with a lot of the higher institutions in the state of New York, and that's how they chose to be Chargers. 3rd down and long. Grant hands it off. Schulte carrying a load, but this time gang tackled. Jeff Boyajian, the emotional energy on this Northside Christian defense, there to make the play.
And the crowd, you know, when we came into the stadium, I was very pleased. We've gone to a number of stadiums that haven't been up for their Friday night game, but the Northside parents and as well, Shorecrest side is full and standing room only on both sides. So they are excited right now about this 4th down stand. That ball stopped itself on the 1-yard line. Glad for the Mustangs that didn't go through.
Now let's check the flag.
Illegal substitution, too many men on the field on the defense. It's going to be a 5-yard penalty, replay down.
Not going to give them the 1st down, so they should still punt the ball unless Dave Moore wants to experiment with a medium-sized 4th down.
So the illegal substitution. Now Northside trying to get the right players on the field.
On defense, it looked like all the assistant coaches on the sideline are trying to figure out what happened. They're on defense. You can run guys off and on defense as long as you get off the field. Looking for an explanation. What happened?
Now a timeout's going to be called. Dave Moore wants to talk it over. It is 31-0 here on opening night.
Dave Moore saying to himself, hey, why don't we go put Schulte in motion and throw it over there to Ty Johnson again on the swing pass and pick up a 1st down. Why turn it over right here? Why punt it away?
A lot of guys going both ways for both of these teams. You see Griffin Alstott right there in the middle, assisting his team as the water boy. He'll be suiting up next season, but there's the 2-way starters. These guys have got to be in shape.
Drew, that stat right there, or that graphic, says it all. It says, to me, it says who was going to win the game tonight beforehand. You know, you just say 3 guys are going to go both ways or 9 guys are going to go both ways. And in this heat, and it doesn't even matter about the heat, you got 9 guys that have to turn around and go both ways. By the end of a 4th quarter of a football game, you're going to be in trouble. So it didn't start off well for the Northside Mustangs with the fumble and a couple things like that, and a lot of negative plays and a lot of big plays by Shorecrest. But that stat right there says a lot about this football game.
Combine that with the underclassmen on Northside, and that tells pretty much the story. So on a 4th down, Shorecrest wants to go for it. A little bit of confusion. Grant will get tattooed. So Northside able to lower the boom, and this will be a big play for the Mustangs. They'll take over on downs from about the 40-yard line.
Grant took a big shot, comes up limping a little bit. You see he's got a big knee brace on his left knee. They go for it, and Tyler Knapp was wide open, but Grant just couldn't wind up and get rid of that ball fast enough. I thought I gave Dave Moore the play call. Did you not hear me say what the play was? I don't know why he went with the play action there and tried to go deep.
That was Steven Sullivan right there, 28 with the big hit. And this is the best starting field position of the night for the Mustangs.
Yeah, it is. They have been backed up so much. And here we go. We got an issue. Looks like Ben Knox can't find either his mouthpiece or something. Here he goes.
Knox. That one's incomplete. Dangerous pass as Chase Johnson was the intended target. Jeff, let's talk about Ben Knox, the quarterback for Northside Christian. Mike Alstott says that very wide-eyed, sometimes needs to settle down. Very good athlete, but needs to play better with his eyes. What does he mean by that?
Well, I mean, you've heard the term, you got to look players off, you got to look players off, and people kind of have that as a misnomer. Quarterbacks have to look where they're throwing, but you don't have to stare at your receivers. The quarterback knows where the receiver, or he's supposed to know where his receivers are going. So you can stare at a defender and throw around a defender, and if the play is designed properly, one defender can't cover two receivers in the same zone area. So you try to set it up that way. But, a lot of times guys that are in their 9th grade year, they can't fully grip a high school football, a full-size football properly, okay? And, I mean, that's why even NFL quarterbacks wear gloves. Ben Roethlisberger's huge. He wears gloves. Kurt Warner wore gloves. The ball is slippery, and this kid's just a 9th grader, so he might not even be holding on to the ball very well because it's so wet and slippery out there.
Picks up 4 as he rushes on the right side. And keep this in mind. When the season began, Ben Knox should have been the 3rd-string quarterback. But Max Messengill should be wearing number 40 tonight, and the likely quarterback if he were healthy, but health-related issues have kept him out. No telling when he'll come back. And then they got Sakai Singletary, who's also waiting to be declared eligible by the FHSAA. I talked to Sakai before the game. He says he's going to be good to go in about 2 to 3 weeks. But Ben Knox, a tough duty being the 3rd stringer and then being thrust into the starting role here tonight.
It's a tough duty, Drew. I started in high school on varsity as a junior, and I was wide-eyed and not ready. To be 9th grade, 14 years old, 15 years old potentially, and have to step in and lead a varsity high school football program, it's really a situation that you should never be in. But he is, and he's handling it quite fine. It has not been him. He has not been the issue for this football team. It's been just execution from a generalized standpoint. And really, the guys up front have not helped in the running game at all.
2nd down. Knox will loft it up. He's got a man a little bit too strong as Kyle Schlatter was in the vicinity. So Ben Knox still looking to move his club, but mentioned Sakai Singletary. There is Sakai, a tough night. To not be able to play on television. He was so excited to suit up, but still waiting on that eligibility okay. He tells me that he should be good to go in about 2 to 3 weeks.
That would be a much needed help. I think he should take off those headphones and get involved in being a cheerleader for his football team. They need it right now. 3rd and long once again.
Bunch formation for Northside Christian. A man open, and that is going to be a flag.
And an automatic 1st down, Drew. 15 yards, an automatic 1st down. Very dangerous pass to float and loft the ball up down the middle. That really is basically thrown to the free safety, but in this situation, the free safety came up and hit the player instead of going after the ball. All he had to do was look up and jump
Pass
the ball.
Interference on the defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. 1st down.
Yeah, it really should have been an easy interception. See this ball off. You cannot do that. But you see there Travis Dugan coming up and didn't play the football, played the man.
Travis Dugan, a middle linebacker growing up in youth football. Dave Moore says we got to keep him under control sometimes.
Wants to hit. John Lynch, mentioned another Buccaneer. They look like John Lynch back there. But a good 1st down and almost to midfield for Northside.
1st down and 10. See if they can get it across midfield. Toss it up again. Alec Israel, the intended target, too high and incomplete.
Probably going to have a hold in the offensive backfield, which is going to make it 1st and 20, or maybe 2nd and 10 if they decline it.
Ben Knox is 0 for 5 passing, still looking for that first completion.
Yeah, they can't get desperate. It's the first half of the first game of the season. They've got to just keep trying to bang away and not just start throwing balls down the field. I don't think that's what they are doing, but that was, again, just lofted up there. Be under control, just make little passes. Keep the ball moving. Oh, and spot of the foul. Forgot about spot of the foul. So this is
10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay, first down.
5, Drew. More than 25.
So it pushes Northside Christian all the way back to the 32-yard line.
Yeah, I would have thought about declining it just because you get to 2nd down, but when you get a, you get a 15-yard penalty, go ahead and push it back.
First down and a country mile. Knox, no chance. Garrett Schulte, if we're not calling him on offense, as a running back, he's coming off the edge and making plays like that.
Yeah, that group of colleges is going to widen after he shows this film around a little bit. Ben Knox, the freshman quarterback, doing a good job of taking a lot of pressure and a lot of heat and jumping back up there and getting this team going. Another thing I like about what he's doing is he's making a hard count. Now, Shorecrest is doing a great job of staying in there. He hasn't gotten him to jump, but he's doing a really nice job with it, and that's something that usually takes time to develop, so I think he's doing a pretty good job there.
2nd down. Knox dumps it off. Anderson tries to get to the outside, but a nice tackle as he got across the 30-yard line. Dragging him down was Tripper Rao, the junior linebacker. Number 21. These Shorecrest players, they get a lot of bang for their buck, Jeff. Very versatile. Kind of remind me of Berkeley Prep last season. Looks like, as we watch them from above here, not a lot of breakdowns. Everybody in the right spot where they're supposed to be.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of different plays that have really pointed that out. There was a screen pass to the left where the player was just standing there on defense, and again, right there you see Rao just in the right place. And credit Dave, and credit his coaching staff. These guys have, either paid attention to the game film or just been put in the right position by their coaches, but they're executing and they're in the right place at the right time over and over. That's good coaching.
3rd down. Knox, backwards pass. Trying to spin away from it is Brandon Thomas. Flag comes down as Thomas gets it to the 35.
Multiple flags. The far side judge threw one at the beginning of the play, and then we had the back judge throwing it in as well. So 2 different things. We're not going to hear it because we don't have the microphone working, but there are going to be 2 fouls on this play.
And another hold. Sometimes on those plays, Jeff, where it goes behind the line of scrimmage like that, you've got guys moving laterally and some offensive linemen hanging on for dear life.
Absolutely, exactly right. You give them the angles, and to block properly, you've got to stay in front. You got to keep the defender.
With illegal formation against the offense, that penalty's declined. We have holding against the offense. That penalty is also declined. 4th down.
I make mention, Drew, we're through the half. We haven't heard the referee's voice one time. I make a mention, and all of a sudden we got the referee's voice. Now, here's what I say next. I'd like a ham and turkey sub from Subway, 12-inch, lettuce, cheese. Let me have provolone. What else do you want, Drew? I'd like those delivered immediately.
If not sooner.
Yes. Power of the voice. Let's go. Get us some Subway sandwiches up here.
I'll take the meatball. Thank you very much. A lot of hospitality so far here at Northside Christian. But it's all Shorecrest as we reach the end of the first half. The Chargers have put on a show. It's all green and gold here. As we'll send it down to the field to our Brooke Bennett. Brooke, who you got?
Well, Coach Moore, I know this is kind of a Shorecrest show right now. You talk about these guys being a little shaky in practice, but come game day, they're showing us how good they can be on game day.
Yeah, they wear me out mentally. Every week in practice, we got to really try to get them going, and they are gamers. So I guess if you're going to have it one way or another, that's the way you want it.
We've had the opportunity. I mean, we've talked Schulte a lot, but we also see a couple of other guys coming in there. You're able to spread the ball around and give everybody a chance.
We try to do that intentionally. You know, on a small school, you're only dealing with so many guys. It makes it more fun, obviously, for everybody on the roster if they get involved. But we do have a pretty deep group of seniors that we try to rotate them in there and give them opportunities, and you know, it helps keep them fresh, especially for the second half.
All right, thanks so much, Coach. We'll see you in the next half. Back to you, Drew.
Okay, Coach Moore pleased as he heads to the locker room. 31-0 is your score on the Subway Restaurants Game of the Week during September. Win at Subway with $5 footlong favorites. 18 different footlong subs, just $5 each. Subway, play hard, eat fresh. We've reached halftime on the Game of the Week. For now, we'll send it back to the studio in our Rock Riley.
Welcome to the High School Halftime Show. I'm Rock Riley. Boy, Shorecrest Prep taking it to Northside Christian of 31-0. Coming up next, though, we're going to select our halftime hero. We'll also go inside the Tampa Bay recruiting scene. Plus, we've got a preview of tomorrow's huge matchup between Plant and Jesuit. It is our High School Halftime Show right here on Bright House Sports Network. Please come back with us.
From the studios of Bright House Sports Network, this is the High School Halftime Show.
Welcome back to the High School Halftime Show. I'm Rock Riley here on Bright House Sports Network, and Shorecrest Prep is up big over Northside Christian in this first half. Who is our first half hero? Well, there were a couple to choose from, and we are going with the big guy, 6'4". He is Shorecrest Prep running back Garrett Schulte. Oh, he is strong. He's hard to stop. Northside Christian found that out early. He got the majority of carries on the first drive. He's got 2 touchdowns. 3.45 VRA. He plays both ways. 12 starters going on offense and defense. He's a workhorse, and boy, this was a nightmare for Mike Alstott trying to defend this young man. He also missed some spring practice. Why? Lead musical. Sound of Music. How about that? All right, still more to come. It's the High School Halftime Show. Next up, we're going to take a look at tomorrow's Subway Restaurant Game of the Week. It's a good one. It's Plant and Jesuit. You'll hear from both coaches when we come back here on the High School Halftime Show. Welcome back, everyone, to the High School Halftime Show. I'm Rock Riley. And if you thought tonight's game between the two former Buccaneers was a great start to the football season, just wait until tomorrow night. Plant and Jesuit go head-to-head at Corral Memorial Stadium. You know, Jesuit looking to avenge last year's loss to the Panthers on Week 1, while Plant is coming off another state championship. But just ask head coach Robert Weiner, who says last year was just that, last year.
Welcome to a brand new era. And I said, welcome to a brand new day. This is a whole new effort that we're making here. And this group has not done anything yet. There's individuals in here that have done something, but individuals don't make a team. You know, and I said, most teams are kind of rebuilding teams when a guy says, welcome to a brand new era. I said, but I want us to start new and fresh today with all the skill and experience that we got, but feeling like everything's brand new.
You have to play 4 quarters to beat Plant, and sometime in overtime, you know, as East Lake found out. So it's going to be a hard-fought game. You're going to have to play, 4 quarters of football. I'm not going to say we're going to play mistake-free, but we're going to play with a lot of effort and a lot of intensity. I'm sure Coach Weiner will have his guys prepared, as he always does. We're preparing for a challenge, but one I think that we're capable of dealing with.
One of the biggest rivalries, Plant at Jesuit. What better place? Saturday night, 8 o'clock, only on Bright House Sports Network. Next up on the High School Halftime Show, we hit the recruiting trail. Big County Prep, Preston Jackson is here. We will be right back. We're here at the high school halftime show. We'll get you back out to Northside Christian in just a bit. Joining me now, none other than Preston Jackson. He's the founder of Big County Preps. He's going to bring us the latest recruiting updates. Preston, are you ready?
Let's get to it.
Why don't we start? We're going to start at Armwood. Alvin Bailey has named his top 3 schools, UCF, Florida, and Notre Dame, and he was given the Gator Chomp after scoring in last week's preseason game. In your mind, what do you think is his most likely destination?
If you're a Florida fan right now, Rocco, I think you're sitting pretty good with Alvin Bailey. The Gator Chomp at the end of the last preseason game was a good indication that Alvin Bailey's probably leaning heavy towards Florida. Don't necessarily think that is where he's going to end up right now, but that's a good indication that probably that's his favorite on top of UCF.
You're kind of giving it away a little bit. All right, let's go to Lakewood. Wide receiver Rodney Adams. He was committed to Florida. Now he's opened up his recruiting once again, but now his health may be in question. What is the latest with Adams?
I think they cleaned up the health issue. I think there was a big miscommunication, most of all. His recruiting right now is kind of hush, quiet. It's kept on purpose. I think Coach Moore has a thumb on what's going on recruiting-wise with Rodney Adams with the whole situation, not wanting to get out of hand again as it did last time. So right now, I think the health is not an issue for Rodney Adams. It's more so him opening up recruitment, finding out where he wants to land and what's best for him.
All right, he's still got some time. Question number 3. Tampa Bay Tech's Richard Benjamin. He committed to UCF right here in our studios at Bright House Sports Network, but he also decommitted. Are the Knights still his top choice, or is he looking elsewhere, Preston?
He is looking elsewhere. He's opened back up. He's liking Florida again, Florida, Miami. Louisville is also up there. UCF is now out of it by chance, okay? Also, USF has now entered some of the schools that he's looking at. So West Virginia, UF, UM, Louisville, Purdue also in that mix. I think he he really liked UCF, but now with the other schools showing him some attention, and Richard's going to put up some big numbers. So some things going to start to manifest this upcoming season, this season for Richard. So yes, those schools are in the mix.
A lot of schools there. We thank you so much. Speaking of top recruits, plant safety Paris Bostic has already made his commitment to Georgia. Let's take a look at what drives this Panthers senior in this player profile.
Paris Bostic, safety, 6'1", 208, class of 2013. I played for HB Plant High School Panthers. Last year we won the state title, 8A state championship. That was a very good experience. Second time going up, first time we lost, but the second time we brought it home. This year we plan on defending our state title. Perfect play for me would be intercepting a pass or returning it back for a pick 6. This year we plan on starting our year off with Jesuit High School at Jesuit, and that's going to be a good game, being able to go there and get the win at their home stadium. My favorite class is Algebra 2. It's challenging, and I like challenging things. Our coach's name is Robert Weiner. He's a great coach because he doesn't allow us to slack off at any time. He wants the best out of us, out of everybody as a person and as a player. My welcome to high school football moment was my sophomore year. I was tracking down a running back, and I was cracked back by a wide receiver. And it hurt pretty bad. He knocked the wind out of me. The craziest guy on my team is Skeezy. He's a wide receiver, number 8. We play in Dash Stadium. Friday nights is very crowded, a dramatic scene to the stadium. I'm secretly afraid of heights. I just don't do heights. I don't like that feeling in my heart dropping in my stomach. My food I can't resist is steak. If I could have any superpower, it would be teleporting. I'm Paris Bostic. If you come to Dash Stadium, they'd be ready to lose.
You can see this talented young man tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, Planet Jesuit, only on Bright House Sports Network, Channel 47, HD 1147. Time to get you back out. Northside Christian, Shorecrest Prep, second half. Drew Filios and Jeff Carlson are on the call. Enjoy the game.
Bright House Sports Network is your home for high school sports. BHSN is keeping it local by bringing you over 100 regular season high school games, broadcast in high definition. Online, on demand, with more in-depth high school sports coverage than any other Florida network. Watch rival high school teams battle it out all season long on the Subway Restaurant's Game of the Week. From the sidelines to the locker room, BHSN brings you all the coverage. Swimming, football, and every sport in between.
Our players love Bright House Sports Network. They get the exposure, they get to watch themselves on TV.
With one-of-a-kind interviews and stories from all over the sports world. Log on to BHSN.com, where you'll get even more access to the stories and teams surrounding Tampa and Central Florida. Scores, schedules, highlights, rankings. Bright House Sports Network, your home for high school sports. Channel 47 and HD 1147, exclusively on Bright House Networks.
Shorecrest Prep over Northside Christian 31-0. Welcome to the second half of the Subway Restaurants Game of the Week on Bright House Sports Network, brought to you by Subway. During September, you win at Subway with $5 footlong favorites. 18 different footlong subs, just $5 each. Subway, play hard, eat fresh. And the halftime highlights. Jared Schulte on the ground, took over early for Shorecrest Prep. And when it wasn't Schulte, it was Chad Swindell. Schulte really a load. Give it to the fullback here. Alstott scores the touchdown. Multiple threats for Shorecrest Prep, and for Northside Christian, Jeff, just trouble offensively.
Yeah, got off to a rough start with the fumble, and we're in their own end, deep in their own end for so much of the first half that they just didn't get off the ball well, and a lot of complicated blocking schemes is not working well so far for the Mustangs, so they need to get back to the basics.
There's your first half stats. Shorecrest Prep pretty much dominating, only one penalty, playing disciplined as well, and owning the time of possession. Tonight's game statistics brought to you by Baycare Sports Medicine, whose doctors and trainers can help you become the athlete you want to be. Go to strongerfasterbetter.org for more information. And another look at the Pinellas County scoreboard is Shorecrest tonight shining in those fancy uniforms. How about Countryside? 17-7 over Bogosiega, Largo over Southeast, and CCC over Eastlake.
Big one, CCC over Eastlake. That's big. Look at that, number 5 down in the third quarter.
Well, Mike Alstott trying to go to the playbook and the strategy to see if his team can at least make this competitive, even though the score clearly not in his favor. Still plenty of football to play and lots to play for. Brooke, what are you finding out down there?
Well, Drew, no doubt. I mean, it's been a very tough night for Northside Christian, but they go into the locker room and talk, and Mike Alstott says, it is what it is right now. Turnovers, things are just not going in our favor. But we keep our head high and we play and we represent for the school, and that's what we're out here to do. And he knows that they're going to go through the growing pains, and so do the kids, but they're going to fight here in these next 2 quarters.
Coach Alstott's going to learn a lot about his team in the next 24 minutes.
Well, he's got to say, it's not about the scoreboard and it's not about Shorecrest. It's about us. We have to do what we have to do. On defense, they have to play gaps. They're running through and leaving bigger holes open on their own without, they're kind of like running through places, if you know what I'm saying. And on offense, again, the blocking schemes they're not able to run those right now. They've got to get back to basic man-to-man blocking and try to get some holes that way.
Begin half number 2 is Killian Wright set to kick it off for the Chargers. It's a good foot into it. And receiving the kickoffs has been a huge issue tonight for Northside Christian. They have problems once again. And wrestled down to the turf is Fiante Bell as he fails to get it up to the 20-yard line. Jeff, you know that Coach Alstott is going to be working special teams come Monday morning.
Yeah, really, you just kick 100 balls at these guys and make them deal with them, because they're not coming up and dealing with them properly. That one almost like an infield grounder, try to knock the thing down. They have to get up to them quicker, deal with them while they're still in the air, not try to short hop them. You never know, grass is a little bit moist, the ball's moist, and you never know what you're going to get.
So first series for Ben Knox at quarterback in this second half. Tries to dump it off to John Williams, and even the short passes tonight awfully difficult. And it seems like there's always a Shorecrest defender right there. Once again, Robert Zolper.
Yeah, and Swindell's come up a couple times, and the ball's been probably past the receiver, and he still made a hit. John Williams didn't like that one too much. But you're right, they've just been in the right place. They're right on top of the ball no matter if they've gone left or right. That was not very well executed as far as a screen pass, but Shorecrest certainly is in the right place at the right time all night long.
Second down. Pitch it left. And John Williams, who's had some good plays tonight, makes another. Picks up nearly 6 yards, and he met head-to-head with Travis Dugan. Well, that was one heck of a shot, wasn't it?
I didn't see the shot. Let's take a look at it a second time. But John Williams is somebody to get excited about. That's an 8-man front. Dugan comes up, gets him out of bounds, and then gets in his face a little bit, and Williams turns around, and a little bit of jawing going on there. You can say, you know, of course, frustrations at 31-0 are going to be coming out. Look, I couldn't tell if that was Fredericks or if that was Alex Delgado that came up and tried to make that original hit. But John Williams for Northside is a bright spot, breaking tackles a couple of times. We saw the first positive play by them where he ran the ball out of the end zone after a huge hit that he shook off. So he is their star player at this point.
3rd and 5. Knox, a defender there, and now the ball comes loose. Another turnover, and Shorecrest falls on it. Alex Delgado says, Jeff Carlson, you may have missed me on that last play, but now you can call me out nice, loud, and clear.
Yeah, and I think that was Zolper off the left edge, but that's a freshman mistake. Yeah, Zolper right there. But right here, I would have tried to get in the referee's face and said I was throwing that ball. That was an incomplete pass. It is not a fumble. See, just, I mean, you wouldn't have won the argument probably, but I would at least have tried to make that case. But you've got to be smarter than that. Take the sack when you're in the grass. He's in the grass by Zolper, so take the sack. Don't put it on the ground and put your team in such a bad situation.
First down for the Chargers. Inside the 15-yard line, Garrett Schulte continues the second half like he ended the first. Ball comes out late, but the referees are going to say he was down on the turf. But you are right. You hit it, Jeff. You said Schulte is running it like Mike Alstott. He kind of looks like the A-train back there.
Well, there it is. Look at that. The way he put those shoulders down to prepare for contact, it keeps people off of your legs, and then you keep your feet moving and then go right over the top. Now, that guy's big enough to compete at any level of high school that he wants to, and he could do the same thing. But at this thing, he puts his head down, and he's just bigger and better than the guys on the football field tonight.
Schulte. Boy, the offensive line getting great push as well. Jeff Boyajin makes the stop for the Mustangs. But close to the goal line is Schulte. The Chargers knocking on the door once again.
Well, and here's the contrast of the two teams. The offensive line of Shorecrest is running the same pulling techniques by their guards and tackles and getting to the block, whereas Northside, again, whether it's they're just so tired they're not getting there, but they're not being able to pull and get to the block, and they're leaving the defenders of Shorecrest there standing there waiting for their running backs. And but they got a 6'4", 200-plus-pound running back coming downhill at them, and then they cut it back with the little fullback, and that should be a penalty right there, I think. Yep, 15-yarder on the kickoff.
Aaron Johnson scores for the Chargers, and Shorecrest Prep just rolling here on opening night.
A little misdirection. You fake it to your big back again and just pop it inside with the fullback, and he had well scored by the
With
time.
that ball, personal foul on the defense after the score. Offense.
So that penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. That's what they're discussing right now.
Personal foul on the offense. Score is good. They elect to take it on the kick. Be a 15-yard penalty on the kick.
Early in the game, we had one of those. They kicked from the 45-yard line, and I didn't even know we had a penalty going into it.
Extra point, it's up and good. It's 38-0. Shorecrest Prep extending their lead. Patrick Farees on the field that time for the Chargers. Dave Moore, when you look at all the coaches he had a chance to learn from, Jeff, so many great coaching minds from his time at the University of Pittsburgh as a player, then with the Buccaneers, the Buffalo Bills. Mike Mularkey, Mike McCarthy, John Fox, Lovie Smith, John Gruden, all those guys. But the one he said meant the most to him and has kind of had the biggest influence as he builds this Chargers program. Guess who? Tony Dungy.
Good one to model yourself after. Even-keeled, consistent, you know, not too high, not too low. Football is not your life. It is not what makes you. It is just what you do. I know Tony Dungy, he said, you know, coaching football is not who I am, it's what I do. And he really instilled that into all of his players, include these two guys out here tonight. But to model yourself after him and what he's done as a human being is a great way to go. So these teams, both sides, even though it's a lopsided scoreboard, both of these programs are the better for getting these guys here. They will do a lot for the development of these young men.
Shorecrest Prep has scored 17 points off turnovers. They've taken advantage of every Northside miscue, it seems. Kick into the end zone. Northside Christian will start at the 20-yard line. Tomorrow night, it's at Donnybrook at Corral Stadium. Remember how exciting and fun this game was last year at Dad Stadium? Well, tomorrow night it's round 2. Plant and Jesuit as Robert Weiner goes back to the friendly confines of Jesuit High School. He said that he created
friendly confines, huh?
He created the blue tie, the cheering section at Jesuit. He said, I invented that. They're going to be giving him all the heckling he wants tomorrow night.
Yeah, friendly confines. Well, it was a full stadium here tonight. It'll be a full stadium tomorrow night. Be plenty of fun on the turf.
Here it's 38-0. Knox hands it off. Now John Williams carrying a load. The Gibbs transfer. Just a junior. He's got a bright future.
Absolutely.
For these Mustangs.
Going both ways and making plays on both sides of the ball, but definitely the electricity for the Mustangs on the offense is number 3. And the offensive line did a good job right there. Gave them enough time to get to and through the line of scrimmage without being touched. That's been a difficult task so far tonight. So good job up front, guys.
Second down and 4. Ball on the ground again. And it's getting ugly for the Mustangs.
Well, Zolper, I think it was him, he's untouched coming off the edge, and that's just unacceptable. You have to have the defensive end accounted for on every single football play, no matter how you draw it up. You see him, well, call that a whiff. So he got whiffed. Now, they took one of their receivers away from that side in the motion, but they're just miscues. They're just missing their blocks. So no chance for Williams in the backfield. And here it is again, getting handed the ball inside the 20-yard line multiple times tonight, or somewhere near the 20.
Chargers get it again. Schulte taken down by Williams. No matter what, John Williams has earned his keep, but this is what happens in the months of August and September when you've been on the field all night long.
Yeah, they're going to be having a lot of guys with cramping issues, and that's all this looks like, because he looks pretty relaxed in the face. He's not too worried about it, but cramping up is going to be an issue for a long period of time for these guys. Too many guys going both ways.
Nice play action. Sam Grant complete. And that's near the goal line. Patrick Faries makes the catch.
Good execution on the play action. Mike Alstott saying, Dave, I thought we were friends. That's good execution. Keep giving him something to think about.
Eight of 11 passing for Sam Grant. He has been efficient here tonight. Mentioned Coach Alstott and Coach Moore going at each other. They both started in the Seminole Youth Football Program, and from there decided they wanted to take their coaching into the high school ranks. Tonight is the debut for both. We're happy to bring it to you. It's been all Shorecrest though, 38-0. Garrett Schulte wants to make it 44-0. And he will. Touchdown Chargers.
Very tough. Good football player. He'll be playing on Saturdays very soon.
The offensive line getting great push. And once Schulte breaks that line of scrimmage, Jeff, and starts running downhill, it's trouble.
Well, Steven Sullivan had a shot at him behind the line of scrimmage, but size mismatch, and Schulte just throws him off and finishes it off for the touchdown. But, you know, next week we were talking about Admiral Farragut and their run to the state championship game last year, and their running game is going to be quite a matchup next week for Shorecrest. But you know, they're going to see this film, of course, and what do you say to it? They've done everything right. They've been very well disciplined in their defense, right place, right time. This guy coming at them, and tell you what, when they put him in motion, use him as their fifth wide receiver, and then use him as a blocking back to throw the screen pass, Admiral Farragut's going to have their hands full.
Shorecrest Prep, perhaps if they keep playing this way, they can make a run towards the state championship. There was once upon a time when Shorecrest Prep was playing for state titles. The mid-70s, 1975 and 1976, both years they were runners-up. So you know that statistic I always like to throw out every year, Jeff, that you hear time and again. No team from Pinellas County has ever won a state title. Shorecrest Prep, along with Admiral Farragut, they have knocked on the door.
I mean, just look at that list. There's few and far between. You know, that's a long period of time. I started playing football in 1975. That's a long time ago. You saw how few there were, just even in the last, back to Dixie Hollins.
I might add, to play for a state championship, Shorecrest is going to have to get back into a district. Right now, they are independent. They had a choice, Jeff. Either play teams like Fort Myers and Jacksonville and have to hit the road, or get into the district with Berkeley Prep, Tampa Catholic, and CCC. They said, no thanks.
They made the right choice. Let's just wait it out till they readjust once again.
I think after the season, though, you're going to see the Chargers make a decision as Austin Settle makes the tackle on special teams. Right now, Shorecrest, they're blazing away, and the body language for Northside does not look good.
Well, and Dave Moore is going to have to start taking his players out. Schulte does not need to run the ball anymore. Just the smallest hit can always, injure a player, and you just do not want to put your star players in that situation. So a lot of guys going to get a lot of opportunities right now, numbers that probably won't play in the tight games. A lot of, 9th and 10th graders and things like that, as we see a lot of different numbers in right now.
First down and 10, Ben Knox out of the shotgun. In motion, Saxton Davis. Knox trying to hit his man, and it's knocked away. A breakup by Evan Johns, number 26, who got a hand on it. Let's send it down on the field to Brooke Bennett.
Well, Drew, I think we have somebody that knows a little bit about being on the sidelines of football, but Nicole Alstott in kind of different shoes. For 12 years, though, you were with Mike during all of his playing years. What have you found out now, kind of being the coach's wife? It's a big difference. It's a lot of different things that you have to deal with.
Yeah, it's a huge difference. The hours, number one, are huge. He used to be on a schedule all the time, home for dinner. Now dinner's really late, and he's gone first thing in the morning, and it's a lot of time and a lot of effort.
What's the transition been like? You said the hours and the time when you guys have 3 kids. What does that kind of do for your role as the mom to keep everybody in line now?
Well, basically, he used to help out a lot, so it's really kind of hurt me a little, you know, and so I'm by myself all the time. You know, I go take Griffin to football. The girls are in gymnastics. Hannah's now in volleyball. So it's a little difficult. I'm not going to lie to you, but we manage. We manage just fine. So.
Well, tonight we know is a big night for both Mike and, of course, Dave Moore. Was he nervous? Did he say anything to you? I know you said he didn't get much sleep last night.
He was up at 4:45 out the door. And no, this isn't about Dave and Mike, it's about the kids. And yes, he is nervous. It's his first game, and we have a lot of work to do. And I think the kids are doing good. I mean, we've come from nothing here to, well, not nothing, but from little to we're going to build something. So.
Exactly what Mike said. Nicole, thanks so much for taking the time. And they are going to go through the growing pains and, of course, get better. And you can tell that the atmosphere here is still great for the Mustangs down here on the sidelines, Drew.
Yep, Kyle Schlatter makes a good play offensively. Talked about the busy day that Mike Alstott has. This was the play. And Knox has not had much reason to cheer tonight, but they're a perfect pass, Jeff, and Schlatter does the rest.
Well, Rao was right there like he's supposed to be, but that the ball was placed perfectly where it's supposed to be, out in front of him, where he can take it and turn the corner and pick up the first down.
John Williams, another pitch. A breakthrough up to the 45 as Tripper Rao makes the tackle. You know what's tough tonight? You see talked about the freshman Ben Knox operating. Made a good play on that last play, Jeff, but when you're the quarterback and you're struggling and you see your teammates kind of pouting a little bit, starting to lose confidence in you, you as the quarterback, when you're having one of those type of nights, that's got to be tough, especially as a youngster, to really dig down and find it.
That's exactly right. As a ninth grader, right? That's what I said. Even as a junior starting, it's difficult, but that's what the quarterback has to do. You have to be the eternal optimist. You have to be the cheerleader. You've got to be out there keeping the guys going, because their offensive line are getting overwhelmed, and they're in a hand-to-hand battle, play after play. So you just got to do it. It's just what comes with the territory of being the quarterback.
Second down, call it 9, and movement across the front. This will be blown dead.
What I want to see, though, is like Rao came up and made a big hit on Williams, but then jumping up and kind of a little bit of that taunting in the face type stuff. Just if you want to jump up and do your thing, that's fine, but do it not at the player. The referees need to make sure that they get a quick warning out to the teams to not let that go on and know what the ramifications are going to be.
That pushes them back 5 yards. Second down and 14. Northside Christian still looking for their first points. Out of the gun. Knox lofts the pass up, and this is picked off. Tripper Rao right into his hands, and he takes it the distance. Touchdown, Shorecrest.
Rao's been on both sides of the field and all over the field the last half a dozen plays, and this time he's right where he's supposed to be, like he has been multiple times. And this time the ball just floats up in the air. He's trying to throw the ball without being able to get the strings. And you see how it just right place, right time. I think it was him that earlier in the game had a chance to almost take one back too, and I think it was the first quarter almost had one. But having a heck of a game so far, this first game of the season.
Tripper Rao comes alive in the second half. And now the extra point try by Patrick Fariz. It's 52-0. Shorecrest Prep continues to build on their lead. So the Chargers starting their season with perfect football. Win over All Saints Academy last week, 43-9, and now really taking it to Northside. A water break here midway through the third quarter on the Subway Restaurants Game of the Week. We're back after this. .549 left to go in the third. It's 52-0. Shorecrest over Northside as the Chargers shining on the Game of the Week. If you're wondering when the running clock could be into effect here, it's only possible in the fourth quarter if the difference is 35 points. As John Williams stays on his feet. Oh, look at the effort. Kind of like that. Williams gets it across the 20. Northside Christian also entertaining at halftime with their band. Nathan Farrell puts together one heck of a fine arts program, and the band doing their thing. Brett Roper, you see number 51. Garrett Hastings and Destin Lackerman also shining for the marching band at halftime. Jeff, they were something else.
Talk about going both ways, and that's triple duty. Nice job.
Brett Roper used to be the center, now plays tackle. Tough to move the football here against this Shorecrest defense. Williams, another nice run. He's shown some promise. He got wrestled down by Austin Settles. Settles played well for Shorecrest. Garrett Schulte's been the guy number 32 for the Chargers, but a host of other guys as Williams continues, Jeff, to limp around. So one thing about those cramps, it's tough for those to go away.
Oh, it's hard to correct him during the game. Listen, this kid right here has impressed me beyond, as you said, especially on the kick return, the effort that he's given in this type of a game. You know what, now get him out of the game. You need him for next week. You don't need him for tonight. So get somebody else some experience and just applaud him in the film room. Tell him that's what we're looking for out here.
Williams now lying down. You see, during this time of year, we've come to know over the past. Remember last year at Largo and Southeast? Jeff, you weren't there that night. Mark Robinson was on the call, but they had pickle juice on the sidelines, and they were consuming it because of the high salt content, and it gets to the muscles easiest.
We were up at Pasco, and they were doing the pickle juice as well, and you know what? They got back in the game and kept going, so I wouldn't do it. But they were successful for some guys.
There's a nice run. First down yardage. Jeff Boyajian picks up 4 yards, and a new quarterback, Mike Abraham, under center right now. He wears number 8. So here's Ben Knox, the freshman. His night is done. There you see Mike Abraham. See what he can do under center.
Yeah, all the guys should get moved around and get some experience, because you don't want to be in these situations, but when you are, you want to get your guys game time experience, because there's nothing more valuable.
Boyajian once more. That's Anderson, excuse me, Aiden Anderson on the carry. So Mike Abraham listed as a tight end, defensive end, now under center. So love private school football, so many movable parts on both sides. You better learn how to play every position.
Yeah, exactly right. Everybody's got to be a jack of all trades.
Exhausting night for the Mustangs. Aiden Anderson. And running back right now, looks like John Williams is going to have a rest. 270 kids go to Northside Christian. And about the same number for Shorecrest Prep. Jeff, these are special schools. When I say special, I mean tuition's pretty high. You better dig deep in your pockets if you want to send your son or daughter to one of these institutions.
And then the colleges that they go to from here, from these schools, is even worse.
They do tremendous jobs, though, preparing these kids for the next level. Anderson spins free. How about Aiden Anderson up to first down yardage?
Yeah, you know, this is really, we've been talking a lot about John Williams, but Aiden Anderson is the double punch. These guys are going to get the ball about an equal amount of times probably, because it's not really a, one number 1 and number 2, but they're both number 1s. So nice effort there as well.
That's the type of effort that Mike Alstott's going to notice when he goes to the game film.
He doesn't look like his profile picture.
Boyajian makes the catch. Takes a shot near midfield.
They might even get an automatic first down if hands went to the face. They've been trying to execute that screen pass all night long.
Personal foul, roughing the quarterback.
There you go.
On the defense, hands to the face.
Yeah, not a huge rough, But when you jump and if you reach out and touch the face mask and get up in the quarterback's face, it is a penalty. You know, they used to say, Drew, that guys like me wore dresses, right? The quarterback used to wear dresses, but they used to knock everything out of us. But now they've set the rules up where things like that get you an automatic first down, but didn't used to be like that.
How about those Northside fans still cheering their team to the end? You'll love to see that. Going to be a long season. You got to stick with your team, even though they trail substantially here. From the 38, you got to like what Mike Abraham is doing at quarterback. Team moving it right now. Pitch and penetration. Robert Zolper, once again, he's camped out. And the Northside backfield tonight.
3 defenders were camped out. You're right. There was a bunch of guys, a lot of yellow, deep in the backfield on the toss, and it just can't be that way. You've got to get on to people and sustain blocks just long enough for the running back to get to the line of scrimmage, and that's really what you got to do.
Will County scores as we're keeping you informed around the area. Lakeland Dreadnoughts back to business over St. Cloud, 28-0. Winter Haven 7-3 over Auburndale. Ryan Bass is at that game. 2014, Lake Gibson leading George Jenkins. And how about Kathleen? Red Devils have something to prove this year. That program has been down a long time, and I think Irving, Strickland, and company have had enough.
Well, they're always competitive, and the football out there is so tough. You know, we go out there and see a lot of teams. Lake Gibson is usually so good. Winter Haven's good. So it's not easy. You could have a very good football team and still go 5-5, right? But you know, Irving Strickland's doing the right things, and they will be a tough team. Obviously, off to a good night. That number looked just like ours.
Ninth play of this drive. This is the longest one of the night. And trying to spring free is Chase Johnson. He'll toss it downfield. Had a man out there, but couldn't get it to Saxton Davis.
Well, did a good job to not take the huge loss. It was Zolper, read it, almost got him down, but he did a nice job there. Chase Johnson gets the ball into his throwing hand. Oh, see, Zolper just missed it and then gets rid of it.
Tell you what, Robert Zolper has been impressive on defense. Jeff, I know he hasn't been accounted for a lot, but still, to be able to do the same thing play after play, good field awareness by 27.
Oh, no, yeah, you're talking about not having experience and then being everywhere on every single play. Look, I've been watching a little bit. They've lined him outside of the most wide rusher with a down lineman a lot of times, so he's coming around the corner quick, and the Jets have not been able to handle it.
Pass out to the outside, incomplete. Saxton Davis couldn't squeeze it, and it looks like that could have been a behind pass.
He's playing to the whistle. He's doing the right thing, playing to the whistle. I didn't think it was behind him. I thought it was a dead play, but he did the right thing to go after the football.
That did not look like a lateral, as Davis now looks like he could be cramping up. Jeff, I got to tell you from experience, when I was a junior in high school, I put on the
1932.
pads. I put on the pads for the first time. Coach Alex Albert at Lato said, Drew, I want you to come out for football. So I lined up a couple times at defensive end and tight end. First time I had ever played. I was in shock and awe, a lifelong baseball and basketball player. So what Bobby from New Jersey, Robert Zolper, is doing out there tonight, I can appreciate, because it is not easy to go out on a high school football field, adjust to the speed and the physicality of the game, and make play after play and look like you belong out there.
Yeah, the physicality. I mean, lacrosse, you know, there is speed. There's speed and agility, and same with soccer, you know, the footwork and all that. But the physicality of playing in the trenches, so to speak, in football, for him to walk out here and be just dominating, but also the right place at the right time. He's not running around aimlessly. He is running around with purpose. He's in the right place. So this might be the exact right sport for him. He may play some others as well, but football is good for him.
Lacrosse can be an awfully physical sport.
Absolutely.
As well.
different though, very, very different. I mean, you know, getting whacked with the stick is different than hand-to-hand combat that these guys are dealing with down in the trenches.
So a turnover on downs, 1st and 10 for Shorecrest Prep. It's been all Chargers from the opening kickoff. Shorecrest taking it right down the field on the first drive. They've never trailed. Northside has not scored yet. Up to the 48. And now we'll wind down this 3rd quarter.
In the huddle, let's go.
Schulte's still running the ball. Remember, he's a two-way player as well. He would not see the field if he was on my team. He'd be off, resting and relaxing, getting ready for next week. Admiral Farragut is going to be quite a test for these guys.
There's the numbers on Schulte. Coach Moore emphasized we are going to run the football. That's our first priority. That's what makes us go.
Dead ball, false start.
Wow. He was just trying to let the clock run down in the 3rd quarter, and I guess multiple guys moved, so they got the penalty. That's a tough one.
Special night on the game of the week. Thanks to our crew back in the studio, Rock Riley and the halftime show. Jeff, this is the first year also where we will have coverage all the way down to the state championships in Orlando. Quite a season ahead. Shorecrest starting it with a bang. We head to the 4th quarter after this. 4th quarter on the Subway Restaurants Game of the Week. This game tonight brought to you by Subway. You win at Subway with $5 footlong favorites. 18 different footlongs, just $5 each. Subway, play hard, eat fresh. Drew Felios, Jeff Carlson, Brooke Bennett. At Northside Christian, Brandis Russell Field in St. Pete. Shorecrest dominating Northside. The statistics pretty much say it all as we begin the 4th quarter. 2nd down and 8. And the Chargers get it up to midfield. Let's take a look at some of those numbers. Cooper Wolf making the tackle that time. Jeff, numbers sometimes say a lot.
They tell the story tonight, yeah, no doubt. 5 turnovers. Turnovers tell the story most nights. When it's that differential, you're always going to lose. But then total yards obviously sees one team dominating the other.
You know, it would seem that Shorecrest would have more total yards, but they've had a lot of short fields to work with. Nice tackle made by Zach Glover. Haven't called, no, rather that's Austin Root.
Austin Root. Give him credit because he's in there. Look at that. And there's another guy. We've mentioned Williams. We mentioned Aiden Anderson, guys that are still going as hard as they possibly can. Now, that was a shooting the gap. He's a linebacker, came running on the blitz and hit it perfectly, Austin Root. But a lot of energy still left in that guy, a lot of fight left. That's good news for Alstott.
Hard to believe Austin Root drives from that Steinbrenner school district every day to Northside Christian.
I don't live that far north of Steinbrenner, and that's amazing. He wants to be here.
So on the punt, Mustangs. Returned by Tristan Lewis. He gets to the 30-yard line. The stats that we showed you a moment ago brought to you by Baycare Sports Medicine. StrongerFasterBetter.org is the website. Let's send it down on the field to Brooke Bennett.
Thanks, Drew. Well, wearing many hats now, not only the athletic director over at Shorecrest, but also coaching down here on the sidelines. Trip Welborn, your 4th year at the school. I know, you know, the tradition there with Bill Hayward, 30 years, making this transition to Dave Moore. How has that been for you?
Yeah, well, you know, it's one of the things, anytime you have a transition, Coach Hayford did a wonderful job for a lot of years, but it's been a lot of excitement with Dave Moore as well. They both have had their way in terms of realizing what they could do for the students, and we're just happy to have this transition go as smoothly as possible.
But like I said, I mean, the athletic director, so you're in charge of, you know, the athletes here, but you're actually coaching them and helping them out. So is this kind of a new territory for you as well, too?
Yeah, you know, I'm here for the kids, and we just want to give them first-rate instruction, and anything that I can do, anyone else, to help the kids prosper and become better students, citizens, and players, that's what we do.
You're hiring Coach Moore to be the new head coach at Shorecrest tonight with the win. You know, obviously it's looking like a great decision. How have you kind of seen this program really buy into what Coach Moore is asking of these players, and of course the support of the school?
Yeah, well, Coach is pushing really hard, but he has a lot of experience and he cares. And anytime you care for one another, such as the kids really feel it, they'll give their all for someone who cares.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on the first win and the continued success. I know Admiral Farragut is probably going to be a tough game next week.
Hey, thank you very much. Looking forward to it.
Thanks. Back to you, Drew.
Thanks, Brooke. And moves it early.
Ball start on the offense. 5-yard penalty, replay second down.
Well, it's been an interesting past 6 months for Shorecrest Prep. Their baseball coach, Don Reed, would step down, so they had to move in another direction there, and then Dave Moore hired as the head football coach. But one of the main reasons, as Brooke touched on, the very beginning of the game, Jeff, Griffin Alstott and Jake Moore are both 8th graders. Eventually they're going to get into high school, and both of these coaches are going to get to coach their sons, and they felt it was their responsibility to do everything they could to make sure that high school experience would be made the most of as Williams is taken down. Did you ever think of, Jeff, because you're very involved in youth football, when your son was playing, did you ever think of possibly getting involved in his high school program if he played football?
I just figured it would be natural, but right now my oldest son Noah is a baseball potential player at Tampa Catholic, just started, and we're very happy that he's there. I got tears in my eyes a little choked up when I saw Mike Alstott with his son Griffin doing the national anthem, and standing right behind his son with his hand on his shoulder. It's just incredible. There he is right there, I believe. And he's a spitting image, man. Built the same way, walked the same way, these two right here. And I'm sure he can't wait for it. Can't wait for this night to get over, maybe, at 52-0. But going to be looking to be here for a long time and lead this Mustang program, and to a lot of wins, I'm sure.
That was a great sight in the pregame. Alstott with his son during the national anthem. Jeff, we're going to see some tremendous players throughout the season. Vernon Hargraves, everybody is talking about this young man at Wharton. Leon McQuay, Ryan Green at St. Pete Catholic, Jordan Sherritt for Hillsborough. How about Alvin Bailey? So exciting, probably the most exciting player since Chris Rainey that we're going to cover on the Game of the Week. Rodney Davis, Joey Ivey at Pasco, and Richie Kleppel. We'll see him tomorrow night blocking for playing against Jesuit.
I'm a big Janarian Grant fan. His name's not on that list, but Pasco, he's still in high school, right?
Yep.
He's been going for about 48 years. He's been starting since his freshman year. He's been one of my favorites. Don't see him on the list, but he is a great player as well. But yeah, Alvin Bailey does it all.
John Williams running hard with cramps and all. Tripper Rao eventually takes him down. Gainer. Cheerleaders still having a good time, not even looking at the scoreboard, and we are at a running clock right now.
They obviously had done some evaluating between Ben Knox and Mike Abraham, who's been in now about a quarter, and I think they may have to do some thinking about next week and what they're going to do. Ben has not done a bad job. It's really been a tough spot for every single one of the guys on both sides of the ball, from blocking assignments and blocking execution to the quarterbacking position as well. Just getting the ball out without getting hit in the face.
Pitch to Williams. He's got some space. John Williams across the 35, ridden out of bounds. Ryan Lettler makes that play, and we want to apologize to Ryan for butchering his name in the first half. Ryan, we apologize.
We got some correction, I think, by a family member at some point during the game. Holding by Northside.
Looks like this one's going to come back. Let's take a look at some Polk County scores. How about Pinellas County?
Captain. That's all I want is a captain.
saw Ryan Green run last week in the preseason game against Bishop. He is a great one as well.
Oh, look at that game. East Lake and CCC. 22-21.
CCC hasn't scored in a long time.
Countryside taking control. Bundesliga led for a while, but the Cougars turning it on. Largo and Southeast. We had that game on opening night last year. Largo right now playing them tough, 7-6. There's Lakewood, 46-0. Corey Moore. Not a guy who's doing some good things. Coach Moore at Lakewood. Here it's 52-0. The conclusion of the game right after this. So Shorecrest Prep football dominating this football game. Chad Swindell scored a touchdown earlier. And right now a change at quarterback for the Chargers. Travis Dugan, number 3, the sophomore, is in there right now getting some reps.
Yeah, again, that's exactly what you need. You need to get your guys some practice because you just never know what can happen in any particular football game.
There's Travis Dugan. Nice job in the secondary tonight. Play fake. So Dave Moore not holding back. A touchdown throw as he connects with Tyler Knapp. Tyler Knapp did not play last year. He's one of the seniors on Shorecrest team that focused solely on academics during his junior season because it's such a key year and a tough year at Shorecrest. Jeff, here he scores easily.
Well, one of the more surprising play calls that I've seen in a long time, but I guess if you want to, give Travis Dugan a chance to throw a football as well. But I mean, it's a great throw, good, but surprising nonetheless.
Yeah, that's a tough situation because you got your backups in there. You want them to keep on playing, but with the score the way it is, you can make the argument that a play call like that maybe a little bit too much.
I probably wouldn't have called the go route. Probably would have called a little play action pass in the flat. You know what I mean?
Extra points have been a bit of an adventure tonight for the Chargers, but Faree's able to put it through, and Tyler Knapp has a play he's going to remember for an awfully long time. He scored a 70-yard touchdown in the spring game. This one not as long, but just as pretty.
Yeah, really good throw. Liked it a lot. But don't think that Northside was thinking that that play was going to be coming out of there either.
There's that band for Northside Christian, one of the best in the Tampa Bay area. Coach Alstott says we have to get our football program to the level of our band. That's how good they are.
Well, the good news for Mike Alstott is he's had a number of guys that have continued to show with the big deficit, but they have continued to show up and continue to play hard, and that's the base that you need to be able to get the other guys to do the same thing. Start adding to that group, and then all of a sudden it becomes a tidal wave, and you start competing every day, every play, and start winning some football games. But you heard what Nicole Alstott said about the time commitment. It amazes me what the time commitment for high school football coaches are. Then you go into college and pros. It's unbelievable.
Taking it to 15, and Fiante Bell looking for room across the 30. Kickoffs have not been kind to the Mustangs tonight. That's the best looking one that they have had. Mike Alstott, by the numbers, a tremendous career, 35th overall pick in 1996. As soon as he arrived at Buccaneers camp, he was a difference maker. 12 seasons he played for the Bucs, 6 Pro Bowls, 71 touchdowns, and look at the career rushing yards, over 5,000. I think, Jeff, he is a locked to go into the Buccaneers Ring of Honor eventually. And the question is, I think, at some point, will he get votes at least to one day be enshrined in Canton?
He will get strong consideration. I don't think they're going to vote him in.
Because from the backside, that's caught, Jeff.
Yeah, it's a good-looking play.
Across the 40-yard line, Alec Israel makes the grab. Continue.
I saw a flag come in, so it might come back, but it's in the secondary. What happened? Mike Alstott's career, he is a running back, a guy with the football in his hand. And when John Gruden came in, he did not run the football very many times in his prime years.
On the defense, 15-yard penalty. First down.
So I'm not sure if I don't know the numbers, but there's not very many running backs with 5,000 yards that are in the Hall of Fame. Now, on his runs, if you matched up highlight films, he's in the Hall of Fame. Highlight films. But the breadth of those 12 years, there's not enough. And he wasn't a true fullback. He made the Pro Bowl multiple times as a fullback, but he was a running back. So he was stuck in between those two things, and then John Gruden didn't use him in his offense the way he had been used with Mike Shula's offense when he became the A-Train. So I think he's going to get a strong consideration, but I doubt he's going to go in as a fullback.
What a catch! And the Mustangs with Brandon Thomas now threatening inside the 10.
And another flag coming back.
Tell me a holding penalty here.
Let's see. I don't see the hold.
Mike Abraham makes the throw. Perfect. Thomas, the grab. A flag is down back at the 45, and a player is down.
I think that's cramping. I think that's cramping. Long discussion at the 45 where the flag was down. It was in the backfield. I didn't see the hold. Illegal man downfield.
Brandon Thomas made the catch. He was trotting off the field before he hit the ground, but Northside's got some good-looking athletes. Eventually, as Coach Alstott gets to know this team, he said to us, "I'd just like to put as many athletes on the field as possible. Once they all get on the same page and once the quarterback issues get worked out, hopefully Sakai Singletary is back and eventually Max Messingill."
Illegal man downfield on the offense. 5-yard penalty, replay down.
This Northside team could be completely different by, say, week 4 or week 5.
Well, they're getting a good look at Mike Abraham, and he's not disappointing, throwing the ball well. Nice, very well-placed ball on the sideline. Not everybody can throw that.
Clock now coming up on 2 minutes. Northside fans not going home.
Plenty of faithful in the stands.
First down. Abraham over the middle, too tall. Steven Sullivan jumped at it, couldn't get up there. Shorecrest Prep defensively trying to pitch a shutout and complete it. It's one thing to run it downhill with Schulte, but look at that tackle. And then you got Bobby from New Jersey. Robert Zolper coming off the edge all night long. Guys in green and yellow have been tough to deal with.
Yeah, they fought off blocks, and then they've been able to come clean on a lot too. And but right place, right time by a number of guys. Rao had a big game.
Yeah, it's tough when the score's like this and Northside has struggled like they have, and you see a big play made. If you're an official, you think maybe you just pick up the flag, but no, you got to call it down the middle, right? Every single play. It's just sometimes when you just want Northside to get points.
You do have to call it. You have to call it. If it's legit.
First and call at 17. Final moments of this opening night. Subway Restaurants Game of the Week. Oh, look at that hit. Teeing off Tripper Rao, one for the highlight reel. He can put that on his film.
Well, he's got a highlight reel tonight. I mean, a whole reel tonight. play after play after play. He's right there, and he is a hitter.
That's why if I were a football player, Jeff, I'd play defense. Because plays like that.
Like to get hit?
Plays like that, you can get to look like the hero.
Yes, you do. Yeah, quarterbacks just, that's a tough one. You know, you're not very many guys are like Tim Tebow that get to deliver. Again, what's happening is, well, I won't even try to explain.
Another illegal man downfield. They've had three.
Well,
straight
they're lining up in an illegal formation, and then they're running their tight end down the field. This one's legal. This one's legal. They didn't have enough men on the line of scrimmage, one, and then they're covering up their tight end, and then he's running down the field, and that's what the problem has been.
Abraham running for his life. Nice effort, and he gets up to midfield.
I like the way he ran through the second hit. He was already being grabbed, and then he got hit again, and he's continued to run through that. Look at that faithful going. That was a good run. When they were in that trip set, they were not lining up properly, so they'll have to take a look at that one. That's why they kept getting those penalties.
That is what you like to see. Effort until the final whistle. This could be the last play. Abraham, let's see if he goes deep. No, he just goes down. Shorecrest Prep will finish this game off. Brian Lettler makes one more play. And now we're inside of 10 seconds, and that looks like it could do it. So a tough night for Mike Alstott and company. Here at home, Shorecrest comes in to enemy territory and takes care of business. 59-0 was the score. It wasn't close, but lots to learn if you're the Mustangs. We're back right after this. The Subway Restaurants Game of the Week continues with the postgame show.
Welcome back to the Bright House Sports Network Game of the Week. The first one of the season, we have a completion. It was a shutout. Shorecrest 59-0 over Northside Christian. Our player of the game, Garrett Schulte, 3 touchdowns tonight, playing your first game as a senior. I know your plate is very full over at Shorecrest, but how does it feel to kind of get out here, shake off the cobwebs, and play that first game as a senior?
Oh, it feels great. It's a great feeling. It kind of sets in the whole idea that I'm not going to be in high school next year, but it's just great to be out here with my team. You know, I love them, and it's a great feeling, especially with the last 2 games we played. So
talk about that plate being so full because you missed the entire spring practice, the spring games, because you had to play and you were involved in the Sound of Music. And so do you have a favorite, or are you able to choose which one you enjoy doing the most?
Oh, I love both of them. Both of them's a lot of fun. When I'm in one, I dedicate to that one, and when I'm in the other one, I dedicate to that, but they're both fun. I couldn't choose between them. It's actually a decision I'm trying to make for college, so it's a big decision, but I love both of them.
You rolled right into my next question. I know no offers or anything yet, but after a game like tonight and the highlight reel that we know that you can put together, is this something that maybe you could see yourself playing in the future?
It's a possibility, yeah. I haven't gotten any offers, but I've been talking to a lot of coaches recently, and you know, a few of them seem really interested, so tonight might just solidify it, so it'll be great.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. We're going to shift gears over to head coach Dave Moore, getting your first win as a high school head coach. How does it feel?
Well, it feels good because the players went out and did what you practice, you know. The only thing you can wish for as a head coach is that the guys take advantage of their opportunities. You know, a lot of these guys like Garrett and Jake Kohler, they've gone through a long high school career and never had an opportunity to play in front of a big crowd or have a game on TV, because they're a small private school. So, you know, I'm proud of their effort today. They came out, they executed the plays well, you know, and they played with a lot of emotion. So this is really exciting for me just to see them have an opportunity like they did tonight.
Did you actually see the players really start to develop as individuals out there tonight in this game?
Well, we've seen it over the course of camp. And in the beginning, you know, change isn't always easy. You had to get them on time and did a lot of conditioning and getting everybody to commit and believe in each other. And one thing we talk about a lot is they have to trust the guy next to them. One guy's not going to make all the plays, and it's okay if you don't make the tackle as long as you're doing your job. And I think last week, and especially tonight, some guys are really starting to believe that, and I think that's why we put together a complete game.
I don't want to take the thunder out of the first win, but we got to talk about Admiral Farragut next week because I know as a coach you're always looking ahead. Are you going to be ready to prepare for next week and going into that game on Friday night?
Well, I'm going to wrap up with these guys here shortly and tell them to enjoy it for the next couple of days, and I'll certainly get to work on them tonight. You know, they're a talented football team. They put a lot of guys up front, so we're going to have to make sure we're on the details if we expect to move the ball and be able to stop them.
Well, congratulations on your first win, and we hope many more to come the rest of the season. All right, when we come back, we'll hear from Drew Felios and Jeff Carlson to wrap up this first game of the season.
Bright House Sports Network is your home for high school sports. BHSN is keeping it local by bringing you over 100 regular season high school games, broadcast in high definition. Online, on demand, with more in-depth high school sports coverage than any other Florida network. Watch rival high school teams battle it out all season long on the Subway Restaurant's Game of the Week. From the sidelines to the locker room, BHSN brings you all the coverage. Swimming, football, and every sport in between.
Our players love Bright House Sports Network. They get the exposure, they get to watch themselves on TV.
With one-of-a-kind interviews and stories from all over the sports world. Log on to BHSN.com, where you'll get even more access to the stories and teams surrounding Tampa and Central Florida. Scores, schedules, highlights, rankings. Bright House Sports Network, your home for high school sports. Channel 47 and HD 1147, exclusively on Bright House Networks.
So the first Subway Restaurants game of the week is in the books as Shorecrest Prep defeats Northside Christian. Both of these programs in similar situations starting afresh, but Jeff, clearly tonight, Shorecrest Prep way ahead of Northside Christian in terms of experience and really talent overall.
Well, that's what you said, experience. Only has 3 seniors on his football team. They really are starting from the ground up, and Dave Moore had his team prepared, and they were in the right place at the right time and out-physicaled them as well. So, well-deserved win.
So tomorrow night, we're at Jesuit High School Corral Stadium. Land Panthers taking on the Tigers on the Subway Restaurants Game of the Week. Tons of emotion is going to be brought to another battle of Himes Avenue. So we invite you to join us then if you're not going to the game. If you don't have a ticket right now, guess what? You're out of luck. It is sold out. Final score tonight, 59-0 for the entire Bright House Sports Network crew. For producer Chris McCulley, production manager Ken O'Leary, Brooke Bennett, Jeff Carlson, I'm Drew Felios. Shorecrest Prep 1-0 to start the season. Until tomorrow night in Tampa, so long from St. Pete.